This episode of this podcast is brought to you in part by Avast, a global leader in digital security dedicated to protecting you online against those nasty threats from hackers like malware, spyware, ransomware, and cyber thieves that want to invade your privacy and steal your data. They've got a special game mode that'll allow you to disable all interruptions and notifications. It doesn't utilize all those valuable CPU cycles that you need. Small file size, works on mobile, laptops, and Macs. Find out more at avast.com. That's avast.com.
It is Tuesday, November the 1st, 2016. You're listening to the Giant Bombcast. There are 2 months left in this godforsaken year.
Let's get it over with.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to make it.
Well,
you think you're going to make it?
We made it this far.
Yeah, no,
We can probably make
It's been a long one.
It feels like some Majora's Mask shit. It's like dawn of
That would be a lot
the
better.
11th month. 2 months remain.
That would be much better.
Gigantic piece of rock is hurtling toward us
gigantic orange rock.
at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
we deserve it.
You've
Think
had
so?
some fun this year, right?
We get the giant rock we deserve.
Yeah.
Look at the good stuff. You've had some fun, some good times this
Yeah.
year, right?
Yeah.
That's not all bad.
Name one.
You played the Hitman games
That's
quite a
true.
bit, and I saw you smile and laugh and joke around.
That's true.
Yeah, it's
You
not
got
all
your
doom and
smile
gloom.
back.
Especially last Wednesday
With the IO guys.
when the IO.
That was fantastic.
That
Having
was-
those guys in. Like
Those
those
guys-
guys get it, man.
They
And-
know what kind of game they make.
Yeah.
Yes, they certainly do. I didn't know how to take it when they told us like 2 minutes before we started rolling that they all watched those videos around the
You're
studio.
flattered. That's how you take it.
It made me way more nervous. They were excited to be here, though.
Yeah.
That's why they had to come out. I
guess.
watched them all. They're like, God damn it.
They did teach Brad a lot.
Clearly, we forgot to include some key piece of tutorial in this game, so we have to now go to everyone's homes.
Right, the
and
Santa Claus of
instruct
Hitman.
them.
I quite literally
when the
learned.
white dot is over the head.
I learned more about Hitman in that 90 minutes than I had the previous.
What was the most important thing you learned?
Just best practices kind of stuff.
Like
it's not the
luring
UI
people
stuff.
outside of-
It's like, obviously we know what the white dots mean. It's just that we get distracted easily and don't pay a lot of attention. But
Stuff like taking the guards out from the stairway. It's like,
Yeah.
well, we know we want to use the stairway, so let's have a clear path
It was-
for when the guy goes
yeah, it was
there.
more like high level stuff of just like
Yeah.
creating space in the level,
Yeah.
like very
And inside,
systematically
yeah.
taking one person out after another until you've got like a nice clear walkway that you can operate in and stuff.
We've been very seat of our pants the
Yeah.
whole time. Like
Yeah.
both of us are the way we
Yes.
play.
I think that's a more interesting way to play.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
could do this
Yeah.
super deliberate strategy of just like, well, we're going to clear this path, but isn't it more fun to just hope for the best?
But even
Yeah.
that gets fucked up. Like the way he
Exactly,
actually
yeah.
killed the elusive target was fucked up. Like
It's true.
this thing went wrong, and
Yep.
he had to do the seat of his pants thing.
I had
and
it-
threw a screwdriver into his neck and ran away.
I had seconds to act.
They get all good as shit, no matter how much you've prepared for
Yeah.
it, as we found out.
Oh, that's such a great game.
He fed 2 guys to a wood chipper.
It's true. The Great
Great
Dane
Dane,
had to
yeah.
feed.
That game was so good. He turned into a scarecrow and got shot to death.
It's true.
and now, is the last episode of that out?
Yeah, it came out yesterday.
Okay.
Yesterday.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Japan,
I've-
the Japan level.
I've been led to believe that there's vaping
what?
somewhere in
okay.
there.
I've heard we
So
need
if
to
you
follow the yoga opportunity.
want to
Okay.
assassinate
I heard-
some.
We saw some footage of the yoga stuff. That looked
Yeah.
really good. Apparently, there's a DDR cabinet in there.
I've heard that as well. Yeah, it sounds like there's some cool stuff in there.
I almost wish I didn't know that, but
Yeah.
man, what a game
Oh, it's so
that
good.
is. And it sounds like, did they talk in the video about stuff happening after this map? Or was that?
They
I
left it
mean,
up in the
they
air as far
alluded
as,
to like,
yeah.
well, we called it a season 1.
Yeah,
You know,
well,
they
no,
didn't
I'm
say
not
anything.
talking about like a potential season 2, but just stuff they will continue, like elusive
Elusive
target type
targets,
stuff.
yes, they did
Like
say
there's a
that
new
they're
one
gonna-
out now, apparently.
Yeah, they're going to keep doing elusive targets.
Yeah,
for sure.
I kind of figured this last map would come out, and like, all right, well, we're done.
Well, they've got to
But-
exploit
but-
the full breadth of this map
Yeah,
with
that's-
elusive
that's true.
targets and
That's
stuff as
true.
well. So
Yeah.
I would assume there'd be one more cycle of stuff for that
Yeah.
map, and then
Yeah.
either they go into a greatest hits mode, or maybe they just continue supporting it to keep people playing to decide if they want to, when they're going to make more at this point.
I didn't go to Steam and look at this, but apparently somebody was saying that like the listing for what were they calling it, the complete experience or whatever, like
Yeah,
whatever the
sure.
like kind of get everything package was, has the wording has changed to season 1
Oh, really? Okay.
in the database.
Awesome.
So that's a
That,
good.
that
that's
makes
a
me
good
hope
sign.
it was successful.
Yeah,
Like
we
we were all
totally.
so skeptical of the way they went about this, and then
It's
totally
nice,
won us
yeah.
over.
Like it's there's so many things about the business of video games and the way they get sold have changed in ways that don't necessarily feel like they're awesome for people out there buying games. So it's nice to see a change like this actually like benefit the game as well as kind of the experience of playing it and stuff like that.
In almost every way, I think it's been the best way they could have done this.
Yeah.
There's a couple of spots where people like kind of ended up having to pay an extra $5 to get everything if they bought it all a certain way.
Yeah,
Well, we've gotten a year of enjoyment out of this game.
Yeah.
That if it just came out as one $60 disc, we probably would have played through
Knocked
it, maybe
through it and
reviewed
like,
it
all
or
right,
something.
yeah, we would've,
a few
like-
weeks, and then that was a good Hitman game.
Pound through every map as fast as you can, like do the target once and then move on, and like it's.
But instead, I'll come in and hear that like, oh, there's a new elusive target tomorrow. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
awesome! Like constantly getting excited by this game.
And talking to those guys about like Sapienza and stuff, I was like, what's your favorite map? What has the most stuff on it and stuff? Like it made me realize how intimately I know those maps now, that I'm like, oh, okay, well, you're talking about under the ice cream shop or like, in the church, it's like we spent so much time there.
But still learning that you can like climb this fort and shoot a cannon.
Yeah, but still tipping us off to stuff that we had no idea. Like he was saying you could shoot down that plane with the cannon if you time it right or something.
Yeah, like if the guy escapes or something,
Yeah.
like if he gets spooked or whatever, he runs and gets in a plane and you can climb a fort and shoot a cannon at a
use
plane
the
and
cannon
take
to
it
shoot
down.
the plane down to kill him. Like it's just ridiculous.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's a hell of a game.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I might play a large chunk of that in the relatively near future. I'm not sure.
I'm definitely gonna, because we've only played it for those videos basically.
Right.
Like, I haven't actually like taken it seriously, so I think I'm gonna actually just go back and play it for real and like kind of appraise it properly.
Yeah.
It's fun getting the mastery up and unlocking silly weapons and stuff.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I've been slowly sinking into Titanfall in a somewhat similar way.
Oh yeah. Now that multiplayer works.
Yeah. Now that it's out and people are playing it and stuff like that, like that's what I am doing. That's all I want to do.
Okay. So the multiplayer is there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It holds up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I played all weekend. Yeah.
Okay.
The I didn't realize how great that network thing was because we've
it's
got the
cool.
official like Giant Bomb network.
Oh,
and I'm playing on
yeah.
Xbox One, and so just any time of day I can go in and hit invite network, bounty
Oh, wow.
hunt or attrition or whatever, and then all of a sudden my entire team is just filled up with Giant Bomb people. It's
just
awesome.
It's just everybody that's on gets a notification.
Yep.
Yeah, so
like,
it
hey,
shows you at
so-and-so
the
wants to play.
bottom like who is active or
Yeah.
whatever. They're like lit up. Their name is.
awesome.
That whole thing is super smart.
Oh,
yeah,
that's crazy.
I feel like I'm always playing with people that it doesn't feel random.
So if you're in a good network, you never should have to play with like a team of randos.
Yeah,
Basically.
basically,
Oh, that's
yeah.
so cool.
I mean, there is the idea that like the Giant Bomb networks are among the most popular on every platform, and
Yeah,
so
sure.
you get voice chat from the network to when you're sitting at the menu.
Oh, wow.
And I've definitely heard people that have no idea what Giant Bomb is
Oh,
that
really?
joined it because it was like, well, here's a popular verified network, and so there's that. But
That's kinda
but
awesome.
generally speaking, like it's cool. Yeah, you see, and you can choose to not join the network invites if you want or whatever. Yeah, you can get in, and if there are other people in your network online, which if you're in a network of 4 people and 3 of them are not on, you're gonna have a pretty different experience. Yeah, you can just send that invite and get people together. It's cool.
It's such a cool
It's really
idea.
it's
like,
really smart. It's like totally like of like handling clans and stuff like that. It is maybe the smartest way.
Yeah, like let's say you work at a big corporation or whatever, like AT&T or something. You
Yep.
can just send around like an in-office email or whatever, like, hey, if anyone's playing this, join this. And it may not get as many as like Giant Bomb, but let's say you have 150 people in there. There's a good chance you're going to get people that you work with.
Basically
jumping
sending
into your thing.
sending an Outlook
Yeah,
request.
pretty much.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you know,
For
if
Titanfall.
you don't fill a team, it'll still take your 4 people and go out and search
obviously,
and fill the
yeah,
empty
yeah.
slots
That,
or whatever.
That
so.
seems like something every other shooter from every other company will have next year.
I would think,
Like,
yeah.
it seems like such a no-brainer to handle it that way.
Totally,
That sounds awesome.
and I think that there's probably some stuff they could maybe do around like, hey, I want to search for any type of match and across any type of data center. Like we're hearing some. I've seen some people say like people like in Australia, like when you connect to the game, it connects to a data center, and then you tend to match within that data center. So if your only low ping data center is Australia, there ends up being times of day where you're just not going to be able to fill some of these matches. So I don't know what the actual solution is there. So, but I've seen some people go like, man, this game's dead already. It's like, no, I've had zero trouble getting into, like on the PC specifically, I've seen people saying that. I've had zero trouble getting into any of the matches that I've tried, but I'm also connecting to Oregon
same here.
at like 15, at a ping of like 15 or something like that. And, and I'm sure within the US that there are probably very few issues around that stuff. But
Seems
if you,
like-
depending on where you are, that might be a different experience.
Seems like there's some amount of like FUD, as dumb as that term is, like going around about this game, like people talking about like, oh, it's not selling or the games are not populated enough or whatever. Like I don't know where that's coming from.
I think
that's
like
all I see anybody
some
talking
UK
about.
sales data got out there that said that it was like number 4 and that it was maybe off from sales of the first game. And that, but I don't really know. And we don't really know what domestic sales are and stuff like that. I will say, like if you start to look at it and look at when it came out and all that other stuff, it's very easy to believe that Titanfall 2 might get overlooked,
right?
Because it is coming
it's a very saturated
sandwich between the two biggest shooters of the year.
And, Call of Duty's out like this Friday or something, and Battlefield just came out relatively recently. Like Titanfall 2 is smack in the middle of those two, and it's. I've not played full Call of Duty yet, but judging by the beta, Titanfall is probably my favorite of the three.
Okay,
we'll see how Call of Duty holds up.
Yeah, I think Titanfall is something that kind of stands aside from those two big shooters. I'm really not that interested in shooters for the most part, but Titanfall definitely fits the bill.
It's the most different, right?
Yeah,
it's got the most character to it.
It's been a weird year, man. Between Overwatch and Doom, Gears, and now Titanfall, man, it's been a really good year for shooters.
Doing good stuff with shooters.
A great
again.
year for shooters, absolutely, yeah. And I've seen people get into Titanfall that are totally done with other shooters.
Yeah, that's me.
Competitive. They're just like people that have zero interest in Call of Duty or Battlefield seem to be getting into it, which I have to say I didn't necessarily expect. Like I really like Titanfall.
That's awesome.
But I'm also
so
like,
glad to hear that.
but every year I want to know what's up with Call of Duty. Also,
yeah.
I would love to live in a world where Call of Duty is still a lot of fun. Also, and maybe someday we will again. But I don't know.
I like Call of Duty a lot, and I like Battlefield a lot, but it seems like in the more recent entries, I'll play multiplayer for a bit, and I'll put a handful of hours into it, and then stop. But something about Titanfall has got its hooks in me to where I could see myself regenerating.
I prestiged my Titan and my gun last night, and I was like,
that's separate than the player level?
Totally. Like it's
Really?
level those get to level 20 and then automatically go to G2.
What's the benefit?
It skins. It's not, it's not actually it's not good. Oh, and you get the pro screen for your gun, which shows lifetime kills for that weapon.
Oh,
that's
wow.
Cool. So it's like that
persistent
like
throughout.
stat track type shit.
Okay,
so it's just like this number on the side of the gun that you just bolt on there, and it's just like
it's visible
on the
gun?
game on the gun.
That's really good.
So you're just like 190. All right, let's get out there and fucking murder.
Is it full lifetime or from when you unlock that thing?
Is it like stenciled on the side like World War II bomber style?
No,
that would be really good,
it's like a little readout. At least for the gun I'm using, it's a little readout on the side of it. That's a fun little thing that they add.
Game just sounds like it's full of good
tons
ideas.
of smart little things and all that stuff. But fuck, man.
They've been innovating for a while. I mean, between the movement in the first game and so many other games, kind of copied that. Not copied it, but they adopted that style of movement in first-person shooters. And it's good to hear that the network stuff is really good. That sounds great. Do you know how many people you can have in a network, and is it cross-platform?
It's not cross-platform,
okay.
And I don't know that there's a limit.
Wow.
We've got 10,000, or no, I don't actually know. No, then not. Maybe it is like 10. Yeah, maybe it is like 10,000.
Damn.
In ours on PS4, and I think Xbox One is around the same number.
Can you join multiple networks?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
So you can swap to whatever active network. So you can be in a private network with your friends, and then set that to active if you want to try to match up with them and all this other stuff. That stuff is just super well done. But Titanfall 2 is also taking from other shooters as well. It's got the knee slide stuff. It has the Halo you can optionally hover in the air when you aim.
Mm-hmm.
So which I don't. I tried it out for a little while longer last night. I tried it before the review and was like, oh, this maybe is kind of cool. But it just gets in the way of how I want to move across those maps to stop.
Do you do the wall run thing where you can stick the knife in and shoot from there? No, I like that one.
No, because you can't really aim down sights when you're
it's
wall grab. So it's never been that useful. Instead I'm trying to get better at shooting them while I'm still running.
Yeah, it feels really good when that works.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would have thought that hover would have a lot of utility because you spend so much time in the air.
It does,
popping out of Titans.
It is absolutely useful, and if you pop out of a Titan, you kind of want to stutter in the air because they're you'll eject and people will want to shoot you out of the sky because that is still fucking awesome to do.
You want to interrupt that arc at some point.
So if you can kind of throw them off there, that's useful. It's and the campaign is really a lot of fun. I'm kind of thinking about playing the campaign a third time.
Wow,
which I did not expect.
I've seen a lot of people on Twitter raving about that game.
I've seen people comparing it to Half-Life 2
and
stuff like that.
A lot of people saying it feels like a Valve game with all the cool ideas they threw in.
It has a ton of cool ideas. That's that game. It's a ton of cool ideas kind of put together into something that's really just a lot of fun. I think that there will be plenty of people that come away from it not satisfied with that specific style of action. I'm not going to sit here and say it's for every single person on the planet or anything like that, but
They say what
It's awesome.
Say what engine they're on.
So
speaking of Valve,
they have rebuilt the shit out of that thing, but there is still some source,
it's still
at the core of that thing.
Okay.
The same way there's still some id Tech somewhere buried deep in Call of Duty.
Okay, sure.
Jeff, can you explain there's an energy system and the battery system? I think we covered the battery system last week about how you can tear it out.
Ion has the energy system.
Oh, so that's just that build?
That's only Ion.
How does that work? Because I saw one of the perks is throw out your trip mines without energy.
Right.
Is energy cooldown?
When you don't shoot, I think you build back up energy. Like I moved away from Ion pretty quickly.
That's the one I'm on now.
Yeah.
Which one are you using?
Tone.
Tone? Okay, I don't think I've unlocked that yet. I'm level 10.
Like I had spent currency to unlock because I had played prior to release because I had used Tone. Like the first thing I did upon getting retail was unlock Tone and never use anything else.
Is currency just for unlocking stuff early?
Yeah. Also, you can get into the Coliseum without a ticket.
Oh, I haven't done that yet.
The Coliseum's fun.
How do you get to take it? Are those advocate gifts?
You can spend currency to get in anytime you want, and I think it's like 5 or 10. I'm not sure exactly how many it is. Or you can go buy some chips
with
or
real money,
a soda.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, well, okay.
And redeem codes for double XP and a Coliseum ticket.
Okay.
I mean, I like chips and soda.
What flavor soda?
Diet Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew.
Is it Mountain Dew?
Or Diet Mountain Dew.
Who are they in bed with? Doritos
and Doritos, yeah.
Okay.
It is. They.
I like both those things.
Like they went and did that marketing deal, the deal of double XP with Mountain Dew and Doritos, the same thing that countless other shooters have done in the past.
Does Battlefield have any of that stuff? Was that an EA deal or was that a Respawn?
Not with those specific brands.
Okay,
really?
I mean, they have in the past. I think.
Yeah.
I've seen some Battlefield 1 branded beverages.
I think there is, but I don't
are
know
they
what
Mountain
it is.
Dews?
I don't.
Just wondering if they did
No,
if EA
it's
just
not.
did a double whammy with.
No, it's something else.
Because I was on the PlayStation store yesterday, and they're selling a Titanfall 2 Battlefield 1 combo pack for $150. It's just a single slot on the store.
There's so I fucking went down the hole. I've bought. I don't drink a lot of that soda, but I bought some. I got that double XP. I'm level 27.
I did the same for
It's
Gears actually. Yeah, get new skins and stuff.
It's terrible.
And,
It's terrible. Like what this game has done to me. I'm normally all the way above this shit, but I'm just like, man.
I got deep into I think it was Dr. Pepper from Mass Effect. Yeah. So I feel you.
But that's
really?
the kind of fucked up thing is that there's a skin that you get. There's a Titan skin and a melee takedown that you get through this. Through this promotional offer.
Is it a random chance to get the right code, or is it just buy one and you'll get it? Is it guaranteed?
I got the skin with the very first code I redeemed, and I got the melee takedown with the second one. I don't know if that's how it'll work for everybody or not, because there's a third item that I still haven't gotten.
Okay, but we're not straight up doing blind boxes in sodas yet.
It's not too far off from that.
Fuck.
But so... that skin looks actually really good, but it's only for Ion. If you play Battlefield 1, there's a Red Baron skin that is fucking awesome, but it's only for Ion. That sucks. Because I look at it and go man, that looks fucking rad.
What is
Ion is the default Titan.
Okay.
So I'm not using that Titan, so those skins don't apply.
Wait, the Red Baron thing, that's... Battlefield?
If you've played Battlefield,
they're
played Battlefield,
they're
unlocked
in
the skin in Titanfall.
Oh wow, what?
Yeah,
huh? That's like that Destiny shader with Call of Duty pre-order type shit.
And that is a cool ass skin, but it's only for Ion, so I'm probably not gonna use it, which is fine. I've played a lot of Tone and unlocked some fun skins there. Yeah, I don't know. That's a game I was actually just talking to someone about. This is a game where if the first shooter in years where I might actually say they could totally do some single player DLC for this game and I would be into it.
Totally.
It's weird.
All the multiplayer DLC is free, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So an early access thing going on, if you're a certain season pass or something.
If you pre-order, there's one map that is a remake of a map from the first game.
Okay.
That is you'll get
Nuketown.
3 days early or something if you have jumped through some specific hoop.
Because there was some deluxe edition.
Yeah. What is that?
It was all skins.
That's all skins.
It's all skins.
Like Nitro Scorch skin or whatever.
Yeah. It's all skins. So yeah. That's still a good game. I played Battlefield 1 for the first time.
Oh yeah.
Yesterday.
Okay.
And
yes, a lot of people were asking for our thoughts last week.
I immediately tried to run on a wall. So I mean,
tactics were changing around the time of World War I.
Definitely. I mean, the second guy I shot seemed to have a pointy helmet, so that was cool.
Oh, yeah.
Campaign or multi?
So it launches you right into the campaign.
Okay.
And so I played through the first bit of that.
Okay.
And then stopped and tried some multiplayer and then stopped.
Okay. I'm starting campaign tonight. Did you like any of what you saw there?
No, not really. I don't know. It's. I mean, it's a beautiful game.
Yeah.
Like it's
looks great,
that Frostbite tech. It's the the step beyond Star Wars Battlefront. Like you see similar techniques and stuff like that used, but like you're fucking face down in the muck. You go like, man, this is mud I'm in. This looks great.
Wow.
Are you on PC?
I've played on PC and PS4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good on both.
I mean, sure.
Yeah. I mean, Battlefront looked great on console.
Yeah.
Like shockingly good.
Yeah.
There's some level of detail stuff that was noticeable or whatever, but like it's within what you would expect from that PC game on PS4. That whole thing, like it was right in line, I think.
Sorry to go off topic, but Titanfall I noticed on PC and Xbox One, not a huge difference. Like it seems great across the board.
Yeah. I think that game runs well. So they're doing dynamic resolution stuff to keep the frame rate up on all consoles. So it's the situation where when things get heavy, you might notice it down res a little bit to keep the frame rate up. But generally speaking, I think it's a great looking game across the board.
Yeah.
And so that game has PS4 Pro support. So
cool.
But that'll theoretically be used to keep that resolution from having to reduce as frequently to keep that frame rate up.
Right.
Is I imagine how that'll work.
It's weird to see like Titanfall and Infinite Warfare are two of the ones that they're pushing is like these will have pro support.
Right.
But they're both games that run at 60 already. So like I don't know how obvious that's going to be.
Right. Yeah.
Necessarily.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out pretty soon here, I guess. Battlefield, I think, like, I look at it and go like, man, this is a beautiful game. Like it looks like money. You look at it, you go like, there were dollars put into every aspect of this thing.
That's how Battlefront looked for sure.
Yeah, this is EA putting everything behind a game, and you look at it and go like, fuck, man, it looks incredible. Like they have thought of everything except for being able to alter your class loadouts without downloading a separate app or going to a web page or doing it mid-match. If you want to edit your loadouts in-game, you have to do it while connected to a server. So a game is happening while you're fiddling with fucking menus and shit.
There's no like downtime between?
It's apparently been like this for a while. And I just never remember that because I have never like been that into Battlefield.
There's no like 30 seconds in between matches where you can switch your gun?
There's like the initial countdown or something like that before a match starts. You could get in there and fuck around with it.
Okay.
But you're connected to a server. A match is theoretically getting ready to start or in progress. You can't like back out and go like, all right, let's do all this stuff. That's all on their mobile app or website or all this other stuff. Which they used to have a server browser that was only in a web page. So that's
battle log.
Yeah. Which was not the worst idea in the world. It was just more frustrating, that stuff should be in the game.
Yeah.
Anyway, like, but that's a pretty minor point, all things considered. Like, I look at that game and go, like, man, this game is incredible, but I have like zero interest in it. Like,
is it just pretty stock standard as shooter campaigns go?
It's well, I mean,
follow a guy and shoot.
I have not played enough of the campaign to tell you that. But the campaign jumps from like perspective to perspective, so it's like you're doing these war stories of just like here's this initial bit, and then I'm going to be in a tank for a while. So it's like, here's the tank section of the campaign, here's this section. So it's broken up like that.
It's the old Call of Duty thing.
It's vignettes. Yeah.
It's like, you play as 4 different characters. Here's the tank level.
I mean, I haven't seen it to know if it's like a lot like that or not. But yeah.
Wait, which Call of Duty did that?
Oh, the old World War II ones and the World of War did that, where it's like, okay, here's the tank mission. And starting with 4, there's a lot of switching between characters. Like, oh, now you're Soap, and now you're...
I thought it was just the 2 characters. It was just 2 and 4. Right?
There are some games where you play as numerous ones.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying, though. But it's the one dude, and then it's another dude, right? It's not a whole bunch of jumping
I feel like
around.
in 2 you jumped around a lot because you were fighting for different armies pretty regularly in that. It would show you at the beginning like, oh, you're fighting for Britain here.
Yeah. So this is, trying to break it up into these vignettes and stuff like that. And that seems like a neat idea. That seems like a way to represent the different styles of combat that you would probably want to see.
At least it has a campaign.
Yeah,
unlike Battlefront.
My understanding is that it's quite good from people who have played it, but I have not. But yeah, I don't know. Like I look at it and like it is a tremendous achievement, I'm sure, on a lot of levels. And if you are a huge Battlefield fan, it is still a Battlefield game at its core. But it made no immediate connection with me. I probably played games in the wrong order. If I had played it before Titanfall, I probably would have spent a little bit more time with it. But now I'm just like, I'm so fucking into that game right now that I'm just like, that's cool, whatever. Maybe I'll play this next year sometime. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess like good on EA for owning the Coke and Pepsi of shooters. I like that's the, a lot of people have been kind of coming at me with questions and going like, man, it really feels like they sent Titanfall out to die and all this other stuff. What's the fuck's going on? And I think that the release date is super weird, but at the same time, I totally get the notion of like, if you look at the reaction to Infinite Warfare this year, it is Call of Duty at its most vulnerable.
Yeah.
And if you were going to have a 1-2 punch that could knock people, like it's the idea. I suspect their plan is to knock people loose from that franchise for even 1 year.
Yep.
If they can do that, then next year they can capitalize.
Yeah.
Not with the Titanfall 3, because that's not an annual game. But if they can knock people loose from Call of Duty and get them out of that buying habit, and that I'm talking about this mainstream audience that's just going to buy Call of Duty no matter what, the same way that audience would buy Madden no matter what. Then that's probably an overall long-term win for EA.
Sure.
I can only imagine that that's what their strategy is, because otherwise putting Titanfall in this lane instead of like putting it out in February or March or something like that just is senseless.
My only question is, what's their play next year at this time? Because they're not
Battlefront 2.
Like I guess I guess there's enough overlap there that they can probably get all those people that they got with Titanfall.
I don't know. Like
and episode 8 will be then, right?
Yeah.
Oh, won't that be next year?
Yeah, but I don't think they don't have a tie-in game. Or are you just saying the Star Wars hype
Star
will be
Wars,
high? Well,
yeah.
Star Wars is just a fact of life these days. It's never going away.
And Respawn is working on a Star Wars game as well, so who knows when that's actually going to come out.
Or they just had a ton of DLC like campaign stuff for Titanfall.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they've got a long-term strategy for updating that game and all that other stuff, and maybe EA is supporting that, to make that a reality. I don't know what the actual strategy is, but it reminds me of when IGN bought GameSpy. I remember going so that was the order of events there were, I think the traffic was that GameSpot was number 1. IGN was number 2 and GameSpy was number 3.
Yes.
So number 2 bought number 3 to become the new number 1.
That was around like 03, 04?
Somewhere around there.
I distinctly remember being super sick that day. I was out sick, but that happened, and there was like an emergency meeting called, and I dragged myself.
So I remember asking,
because we were freaking the fuck out.
I remember asking Vince Brody, the founder of GameSpot at the time, I was like, so they just bought it to shut it down, right? They're just going to redirect it to IGN and try to absorb all that traffic. And he said almost exactly, he was like, if Coke bought Pepsi, they wouldn't shut Pepsi down. Yeah. They would sell you both.
Isn't that what happens with like beer? Like, doesn't the same beer company own like Miller and Coors?
Right.
And,
So if EA can come out of this, and I think it's a risky play because I just don't think Titanfall has the name recognition that a Call of Duty has. But if EA can present you with the fast action, fast moving shooter option,
sci-fi future,
and the fucking gritty, somewhat realistic shooter option,
like big, large scale,
then they're covering both bases.
Yeah.
And I think that's a risky play because, again, I just don't think Titanfall has the name recognition to do it. But Titanfall is absolutely of the quality to deserve that spot. We'll see how it goes. It seems like a weird, risky move, but I feel like no one knows enough about how much EA paid Respawn. Like, there's so much other stuff that's a part of this that the EA strategy is probably more about what Titanfall's week 1 sales are. So I'm not too worried about it, or whatever. I'm not worried the other way. It's more like, I guess the only thing I would be worried about is if Titanfall dies off and it becomes hard to find a game of it.
Did the first one die off?
Yeah.
There were,
especially on PC, quicker than you would like.
There were
a few months.
There were specifically
it went longer than that. I think, but I don't remember for sure.
There were specifically problems around the DLC packs that they put out, splitting the user base, and all those hoppers drying up.
Because and they have a lot of hoppers in Titanfall. So like they've got a variety pack one that'll kind of rotate through a lot of the different objective based stuff. But like there are like 10 items on that menu, and that seems like potentially too many if their player count dwindles. There may be some modes that just become hard.
Are those all different modes, or are those like selection of maps, or like
they're all different modes?
Wow, and then there's a lot of modes.
Yeah.
Are they trying to make Bounty Hunt the main mode? Because that's the
first thing on the
one
menu.
there. Yeah,
it was the first thing they had in their beta. Like I think it's kind of their here you go.
I always lean towards attrition.
Yeah.
Do you too? Yeah. I mean, Bounty Hunt's all right.
Which one is that?
Attrition is the one from the first game with
it's got the AI guys.
Oh yeah,
and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
But
Bounty Hunt's weird.
It's fun. I think it's interesting. It's mechanically diverse, I guess, but it's it's an objective mode. To me, that's never like I tend to gravitate towards modes that are either team deathmatch or a lot like team deathmatch.
Yeah. Well, are you getting money per kill? Because you are getting the blue numbers. You're banking that immediately, right?
Yeah.
And then you get the bonus, and you can steal that from other people, and that's what you cash in and can lose, right?
Right. Yeah. So yes, so it's a wave-based mode where you're actually fighting other players to kill AI first. So it'll be like, here's a Titan that's going to drop, and it's a neutral Titan that both teams are trying to kill. Whoever gets last hit
Oh no!
Yeah, that's
the Titan
No.
gets the money.
Oh, I fucking hate that.
But then the money has to be cashed in, and the banks are only open between rounds. So there's a bunch of mobs to kill.
Yeah.
Just to put it into like terms, there's creeps
Sure.
out there. There's a creep wave.
Yeah.
You need to eliminate all the creeps. As soon as they're all gone, the banks open, and you have to deposit. When you die, you lose half your money.
Huh.
And it's
But then if you kill someone, you steal their
steal
stuff,
some money
their,
from
their
them.
bonus. Yeah.
That last hit stuff, I remember that being a huge problem in the Warzone mode from Halo 5. Did you guys spend
Oh,
enough
right.
time
Yeah,
with that?
because it'd be
Like,
worth so much like XP or
maybe it's
points or whatever.
Maybe it's
right,
balanced
right,
better
right.
here, but in that thing, the
sucks.
kill off one of those big elite mobs was enough to swing the entire match, and they could literally run up in the last 5 seconds and take the kill.
What the?
Yeah.
Like nothing stopped them from doing that.
Right.
I don't know if it's as bad here.
It's.
but
I mean, it happens, but
Yeah.
like to me, it just seems like part of the game, and it's it becomes part of your strategy is to mitigate.
well,
that or
I bet
deal with that.
I'm guessing in this case, one stolen kill is not enough to turn the entire tide of the
Generally,
match.
I mean,
Right?
it's $5,000 to win, and I think the bounty for killing a Titan is like $300.
Okay, that's way
So
less
it's
egregious
not-
than it was in the
yeah,
Halo stuff.
yeah.
Well, let's say with the last hit stuff, if you're playing attrition even, I've noticed times that I will doom a Titan. Like I will shoot the charge beam or whatever and doom it. And so it's going to die, right?
Right.
Like there's no way to save it at
really
that
is
point.
ju-
But
this really is
then
just Dota. You're dooming stuff.
But then I won't get the Titan kill.
Right.
Is it whoever gets the last hit before it explodes? Or
Yeah,
it's not whoever dooms it?
Like some of that, you will sometimes get a pop up that says you have doomed a Titan.
Yeah,
you'll get a benefit for that.
But I won't get the full like 10 points and the Titan kill mark on
right.
the leaderboard.
Yeah, you want to get to get the 10 points, you need to kill that Titan.
So the last hit before it
Doomsday
explodes.
works differently in this game than it does before. It ticked down in Titanfall 1. This is more of a static state. And there was loadout stuff you can do in Titanfall 1 that I think maybe made Doom state last longer.
So is it not a
But-
timer now? It's
No,
it's
like,
damage?
It's damage.
Oh.
So finish.
So how are you
finish it.
doomed if
It
I guess the battery okay
like,
can
dude,
you not put batteries in
if
once
you
you're
put a
doomed?
battery in, you're still doomed. It just gives you an overshield.
Oh.
So it
okay.
doesn't restore you. It doesn't restore any hull integrity or anything like
Okay.
that.
And to rodeo kill a Titan, do you have to do 3 different things? Because you jump up, take the battery out. If you jump up again, you throw a grenade in the hole.
I'm pretty sure that like taking a battery does the same hull damage that throwing the grenade is. You only throw the if you're carrying a battery, it's the grenade animation because you can't carry 2 batteries.
Or if the battery's already gone, I think.
Is it okay? Maybe,
Yeah, 'cause
maybe you can only take 1 battery from a Titan, but yeah.
Okay. And then I think there might be a third one that kills him.
I've
maybe?
definitely killed with a grenade toss.
Yeah, okay.
With that grenade drop, but
Huh.
yeah,
It's harder to rodeo in this one.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the grappling hook is really good for that because you can just grapple onto him and do it. But
Yeah.
I would not recommend the grappling hook.
Really?
Yeah,
I've been using that exclusively.
stim,
Stim?
just run.
I hear that's
Just
the secret
fucking
best one.
Run.
Is Stim just for health?
It's speed boost. You run like twice the speed or something
Oh,
like that.
really?
So you just
All
hit
the
that-
time?
Yeah. No. Well, when you pop it,
Oh, right.
and so you just pop it and run behind a Titan and jump on top of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The grappling hook is kind of finicky.
It's really cool. It is a little finicky,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not quite as fast as I wish it was.
And then it says stuff like to get there faster, look below.
Yeah.
Like so you attach it
there's
and
like
then you look down.
There's kind of a swing mechanic to it.
It's kind of weird.
There's nuance there. It's neat, but
Yeah.
but Stim is probably
Okay, I'll switch to that.
I've definitely switched to Stim and never looked back.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you do the Titan like melee special kill animation?
If they're doomed and you punch
and
them,
you just
they
hit
die.
it once and then
Yeah.
sword kill or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is also then that kills the pilot. They can't eject at that point.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I don't. It's everyone. Well, not everyone, but I see a lot of nuclear ejections in there to kind of
Yeah.
stop you from doing that. So I
Right.
know I'm definitely using that.
I love the level up system instead of it just being like a flat XP thing. Like when you go to that
Yeah,
score
that
screen,
stuff's
it's like,
really
oh, you escaped even though you lost. Here, you get 1 merit or whatever.
Yeah, like it's 10 merits for a level instead of just like 8,000 XP or, or whatever. So like you did a good performance, that's 1 merit. You escaped, that's 1 merit.
You
Or
called down your
won.
Titan X number of times.
Yeah,
and-
so you're building up that stuff and leveling up your Titan as well as getting a merit. Like it's
Yep.
it's smart. They have like really thought a long time about that sort of system and done some really smart stuff around it. It's cool.
Yeah.
awesome to see people that changed the genre so much years ago, like coming back around. And
yeah.
kind of doing it again.
Yeah,
in
I
some
think
ways.
so. It's I'm like, for as much as I liked the game, I actually didn't necessarily expect it to receive as wide of acclaim as it seems to. Like, I figured it would be like, oh, if you like, there's still going to be this group of people that are done with shooters that are not even going to give this game a shot. But like, people have been coming back to shooters, for this game, and it's been interesting to see.
The landscape just feels a little bit different, I think, for the first time, between World War I and the futuristic stuff and Titanfall. Like, it's kind of different than...
There's a broader range of experiences and, like, different mechanics at play and stuff like that. It's exciting. Shooters. They're big again.
Yeah, man.
Who would have thought?
Remember Doom?
Doom's really good.
Fuck yeah. I just played that yesterday.
I
don't think I like the arcade mode, though.
I was just gonna say I keep meaning to check that out.
Like,
I haven't tried that.
It's you go through the same levels.
Oh, it's the same levels?
Yeah, it's the same levels.
Oh, okay.
So you're kind of getting a score.
Are
You have
the,
a set
like,
number of lives.
enemy like waves changed up at all? Or?
It's been so long since I've actually played the
okay.
campaign. I can't say
didn't
for
realize
sure,
it was
but
just playing the story.
it's playing the story levels again. Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's the smart way, or that's a sensible way to establish like a leaderboard type stuff. Give everybody a common experience as opposed to like randomized horde mode waves or something. But it's like a score attack with combos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're like earning medals. You want to, for doing specific types of kills and stuff like that. You're kind of keeping a combo going. And
kind of sounds like Gears Judgment's campaign, where it like scores you at the end of each level and you get like a star rating.
Yeah, it's weird. They do have a bronze, silver, platinum kind of thing.
I really like combat in Doom though, so that might be worth checking out.
Any excuse to play a little more Doom is probably still worth it.
Yeah, totally.
But the stuff they bolted on didn't really do anything for me.
All right. We're going to take our first break. We got a lot of stuff to grind through here, so we'll be right back.
Cybersecurity. Everyone is talking about it. People have brought up the word cyber again.
It's the cyber police force.
Despite it being 2016.
Cyber's big these days.
Oh, yeah.
I hear about it in the news a lot.
It's all over the place because people are trying to steal your data. That's right.
Cyber criminals?
Cyber criminals, cyber hackers, and
kind of
cyber thieves, which is it's a type of criminal.
Yeah.
They are trying to use malware and spyware and ransomware to get at you, to get at your personal data, to steal it.
It's a lot of bad wear.
Exactly. The malice of malware. That's why you could turn to a global leader in digital security. It's Avast.
Ooh.
Avast is dedicated to protecting you online against cyber threats.
I figure like a cyber police force.
Yes, like a cyber police force that you can install on your computer where it quietly does its job without burning up a bunch of cycles on your CPU. They've got a game mode in there that'll disable notifications and interruptions and stuff like that for when you're doing that sort of stuff.
So it's more like a cyber secret agent.
That's right, a cyber secret agent that you can install deep within your own computer.
Like the cyber CIA.
Yes,
Okay.
if you've got a Mac, it works. If you've got a laptop, it works. They've even got something for mobile phones.
Wow. It's like everything I have.
Yeah, everything you've got from a global leader in digital security. They're dedicated to this. You can find out more about Avast by going to avast.com. That's AVAST.com.
Jeff, gauging by your general demeanor,
Uh-huh.
I understand there's an important correction you would like to pass along.
Yes, I just received word from an Esnark on Twitter referring to our Farming Simulator 17 quick look that went up.
Yes.
There's no corrections there.
No, there is a correction. I made a mistake.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Suicide balls are legal in all 50 states.
Those are the turning wheel things
Yeah,
with you can get extra leverage.
Yeah.
Right?
Suicide
Okay.
knob is strapped into the wheel. And
You said they were illegal?
In California,
that is
you thought.
that's maybe they were illegal in the past or something like that.
Okay.
But there's been widespread. There's a whole page up that he referred me to.
Okay.
He or she, I don't know.
This is on a steering wheel?
Yeah. It's a ball that you would like a
yeah, no,
grip.
I get the mechanic.
So
I just
you
want
would-
it's okay. Not farming machinery, like just a car.
I mean, just a car or
Okay.
big rigs, trucks and stuff
Okay.
like that would typically use them because they would, you do those garbage truck style turns,
I'm glad we corrected that because that's probably the only piece of misinformation in that quick look.
That I heard
think we're
anyway,
good
so.
now. I think we should be set
I assume
now.
so. I don't remember. The rest of that is just a fever
No,
dream.
we were spot
so,
on.
Yeah.
So now aspiring farmers can watch that video and
I got a
and
farming
know
background.
that we have,
take an important lesson.
Yeah.
Jeff, have you played anything else
No.
of note?
No, not
Okay.
really.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Just playing some of the biggest games of the year right now.
Sure.
Let's take it down to the
it's time.
end of the table and talk to newly shorn Drew.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, man.
Weird.
Newly shaven.
Yeah. It feels really weird.
How's that treating you? Yeah, it's like cold, right?
Yeah, it's cold, and I didn't think I would look this different.
Yeah. Yes. So I had to shave recently for a thing I was doing earlier this year. Not that recently, I guess, now that I think about it. And like I didn't recognize myself.
It throws your brain for a loop.
Like every
right?
time I looked in the mirror, I was
Yeah.
like, huh.
Yeah. There's like one of the most uncanny sensations is looking in the mirror and seeing a stranger looking back.
My
Yeah.
wife fucking hated it.
Right.
She was like, grow that beard back. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
I'm growing this back as fast as I can.
Oh, yeah?
I did it for a Halloween costume.
I was gonna say, yeah, there was a reason. Like, you went down to a mustache.
I went down to a
for-
mustache,
Okay,
yeah.
and then just we're gonna keep just the
Yeah.
mustache.
Oh, I did that one year, and
I
then
kept it for a day.
yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I had to go outside.
Yeah, totally. Unfortunately, my day included going out to a bunch of bars with people one night, and I was like, and it was a full on like Tom Selleck, and I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it'll be funny if I go out with an ironic mustache.
for one day. Yeah.
It was not
By the
funny.
end of that, you're like, all right.
by about the third bar, I was
Yeah.
just like, man, everybody thinks I'm an asshole. I'm
Wait.
just gonna leave. I thought about shaving it on the spot.
Didn't you shave your beard last year for like Extra Life?
Yeah, but it wasn't like a razor shaved. It was like an electric razor, so it was
Okay.
still a little stubble.
Didn't you mail people pieces
Yes,
of your beard?
I was just reminded of that. We were doing a Guinness live stream thing. I think this is when we were doing Smash Brothers, and people were trying to win contests. And somebody in the chat said, "Let's do a contest to win Dan's beard." And I was like, "Fucking all right, sure, let's do it." And
Sure,
there's some
without
kind of
thinking.
there's some kind of trivia
The
contest.
heat of the moment.
And so I shaved my beard into a Ziploc bag.
like
the full
attached
beard.
like a shopping bag around your
No,
ears
no,
or
that was
something.
me on my own time, just trying to like find a
Oh.
cleaner way to shave my beard. That was just me
Gotcha.
trying to be efficient.
Aren't beards filthy?
I don't know. Mine probably is. But yeah, I shaved it all into a Ziploc bag and I mailed it to the guy who put up a YouTube video of him opening everything with a knife. Like, so he's just holding a knife and my beard in a bag. And Andy McNamara, my boss at Game Informer, yelled at me saying, "Don't send your beard to people anymore. That's something serial killers do."
No, I think the serial killers are the ones that want the beard. That's
So I'm in the clear, right?
I'm going to agree with Andy. Don't send your beard to people, but my reasons are slightly different.
Okay, all right. But general, don't send beards in the mail.
Don't send beards in the mail.
I think it happened twice actually. I think it was the second time that Andy had to step in and be like, "Stop fucking sending your beard in the mail."
Just
3 strikes and you're out, mister. Now you got to go through that awful period of itchiness as
Yeah.
it's actually really starting to form up.
that was never really an issue.
Oh,
It's not really-
Like the-
drives me
the-
insane.
It's not itchy, but it is very abrasive. It feels like sandpaper.
Yeah.
Imagine shaving your damn head. As far as like the stranger in a mirror thing,
Oh,
like
yeah.
the whole time I was shaving, like for a month, I would look in the mirror and be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus, right." Or like
can't-
I'd put my hand
yeah.
up, and be like, "Oh, weird." It's
Right.
Like, wet
I can't do a
skin.
razor shave anymore. Like, I can't get that close because it will itch so fucking terribly.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last time I did it, man, it was painful. Like just how itchy it was.
Mhm.
I don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
it was bad.
I like a nice
So now I
close
just do
shave.
lazy shit.
Yeah.
Let it grow out for a couple of weeks.
Totally acceptable.
Fuck it.
That's the style.
We're not.
Yeah.
It's not exactly a law office here. I don't think.
Yeah,
you know, we
exactly.
don't really stand on ceremony around here so much.
Yeah, everyone comes in looking like they're hungover one way or the other. So stubble
And
is-
actually hungover.
and actually usually.
Pretty much. Drew, you play anything good?
I've played, just the usual Titanfall and Final Fantasy VI.
Oh,
Oh wow!
Of course.
Hand in
Yeah.
hand.
Okay, what
Yeah.
version?
The GBA version?
There are mechs in that game.
That's a really good version
There are
because
mechs in
it's
there.
got
Yeah.
like the sprint shoes like automatically applied the entire
Okay.
time.
Oh,
So
wow.
You don't have to.
That is nice.
Equip that as.
So
as
that
an
is
accessory.
just the SNES version, right? More or less.
I believe
Like no redone
so.
graphics or anything like that.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
There's the Steam version that got weird with the graphics.
Yeah,
right?
they have done at least like 1 or 2.
And did that
remakes?
version show up on iOS or something that then
I
got
think
moved to Steam? Is that what it was?
I don't
I
know.
think
I
people
don't-
didn't like that,
can't
right?
keep
Like the art
track.
style's weird.
I don't know.
I can't keep
Either,
track.
either way, this is your first playthrough.
Of 6, certainly.
Yeah?
Oh god, I love that
mean,
game.
Yeah, and that's the
Me
reason
too.
why I picked it up, because
Yeah.
I think you guys were talking about
Yeah, like our
your favorite
favorite.
Final
Yeah.
Fantasies on the World of Final Fantasy Quick Look.
Yes.
And I've never really, I think the deepest I ever dove on a Final Fantasy was Final Fantasy 3 for the DS.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Which is
Oh,
the
yeah,
Japanese
yeah.
3, right?
the
Right.
Japanese
Yeah.
3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the one with the updated visuals, the 3D models? Okay.
Not. I don't think they were 3D.
4 had that. The DS version
Yeah, they
of
did.
4
They
had
did the
upgrade.
3D stuff for 4.
That was pretty good though. That looked all right.
It was not bad. Yeah. Hard as fuck though.
Yeah.
How far are you?
Yeah, where are you at?
A castle just sank into the sand.
Yep.
Okay.
Figaro.
Okay.
Okay.
Have you met the brothers yet?
One of the brothers.
Or do you not meet them both at the same time?
Not at the same time.
Okay.
Well,
Meet Edgar first,
Yeah, and
I
then
think.
Sabin.
To break out into song.
There is absolutely
Bum,
there
bum,
is
bum,
totally
bum.
there is totally an operatic sequence in that
Okay.
game with SNES singing.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah. I wanted to play an old school Final Fantasy game.
Awesome.
And now I've got my Game Boy Micro.
That's awesome.
Sitting next
Oh,
to my
wow.
Micro.
Okay.
Yeah.
I played through Final Fantasy 4 on a micro and it got a little rough at a certain point. Like you're really
You're gonna have to
eyeballing
do
that
blitz
text.
attacks on a micro. Oh man,
Micro is a great WarioWare machine. Just never take that card out.
Because it's got the motion stuff, right?
No, that's
Or is
Twisted.
that-
This
You're thinking
Is
of
that the
Twisted,
DS
the
game?
original one.
Which one?
Mega Micro Games.
Yeah,
oh,
the
right.
very first
Oh,
one.
that was the very first. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
A great game.
Oh my
A
god,
great game.
We got to talk more about Final Fantasy 6 later.
Yeah.
When
Okay.
when you get deeper into
Yeah.
it.
Cool. I'm looking forward to it.
It's I love how huge the cast is. It's kind of a big ensemble cast, and then like some stuff happens mechanically in the second half of the game in terms of how you relate to all the characters that I think is awesome. Even though a lot of people hated it back in the day. Anyway, look forward to checking in with you
Cool.
on that later.
Sorry, I'm just over here thinking about WarioWare.
That hot dog had wheels. You had to jump over it.
Yep, that's fair.
Sometimes it's a shark. You don't know.
You had to
You gotta
pick
catch
that
that
nose.
stick.
Yeah,
You gotta pick the
you had to
nose.
pick a nose.
yeah.
You think you're putting eye drops into an eye, but then a laser shoots out of the
Yeah.
eye and destroys the squeezer.
That last level when they like start bringing back other games, but with like this fucking weird flip on them is really great. It's like,
Yeah.
nope, zap. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
I had totally forgotten that WarioWare was originally a GBA game.
Oh yeah. You can unlock like all of Dr. Mario in it.
Yeah.
Like there's that game's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
All the weird like NES twists and like 9 volts levels.
Yep.
Yeah. It's great.
It's great.
Dan, what you playing?
I'm about halfway through Gears 4.
Okay.
I pretty much mirror what Jeff said about it. It's really good. Although I think I might like the you weren't big on the locust type enemies because they felt too locusty, right?
Yeah.
I think I'm like in the midst of that stuff right now, and I do like the change of pace between like fighting the robot guys and then all of a sudden these scampery weird guys. It just changes the entire way you go about the combat.
sure.
And
situation.
I think they show up at the right time. Like I
Yeah.
think that was right about when I'm playing that too, and it was like right about when I got tired of the robots.
Yeah,
Something new
they
came
needed to
along.
do something. I just kind of wish that it had been like more of a crazy escalation of just like these robots have like there's a potential for intensity with these robots that you don't get from
kind of
the previous Gears of War games.
Kind of wish the something they did wasn't just go back to the previous games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that whole game is about the previous Gears.
Okay.
So like that
Okay.
is
I've got to
a
play that
Gears
game.
of War
Yeah.
game.
and it's
super
great.
curious.
It's great for it. Like
Yeah.
there are some really great, there's some really amazing moments in that game.
that second act with Marcus is quite good.
It's so good.
Everything about that, from
Yeah.
like the way it starts to the way it ends.
Just
like,
his general demeanor.
Yep, just done with it.
Yeah.
But like he's like, crap, I guess I got to do this.
There's
again.
one line in
Like,
there where he's just like, "That's the great thing about being old. You don't have to have an opinion about everything." And I was like, "Fucking yeah." Yeah, explains a lot of how I've felt a lot of things lately.
So yeah, I've been loving it. I haven't really done Horde or multiplayer
really?
yet.
Yeah.
I'll touch that stuff. I always do campaign first with all these games.
Sure.
Oh, sure. Yeah. We got to do some Horde though.
I'll totally do Horde. I like Horde a lot.
Yeah.
Does Horde? Just random question. Does Horde run at 60 on the console the way the competitive does?
I want to say
It takes place in the multiplayer maps.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, liking that a lot. So yeah, between that and Titanfall, lots of really good shooter stuff this weekend.
Are you playing that co-op?
Yeah, I'm doing split screen.
Okay, that seems like I think more so than maybe even the other Gears of Wars. It seems like it would be better in co-op.
We were just talking about
it
this.
seems designed like for co-op.
We just talked about this last night, saying like, you know what, this is a really good game, and I'm sure either of us would enjoy this if we were playing solo. But it's so much fun 2-player, and like actually coordinating and everything, and the parts where you do kind of split off,
Right.
They're like on either side of the
Yeah.
river in Act 2. Like, there's some really cool stuff, like shooting gates open for each other, and it's so much fun.
Has that put your Halo playthrough on hold?
Yeah, that's pretty much on hold. We beat 1 and 2, and then after the holidays over and I'm through all these games, we'll pick up.
Then
on,
you can finish the
3.
fight.
We'll finish the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's been great. And then also I played a few hours of Owlboy yesterday.
God, that game's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
It's really
Like a
cool.
Was it like
decade
10 years or
right?
something?
Yeah. I remember following them on Twitter.
I don't know anything about Owlboy.
I didn't either going in. So All I knew was the 10-year thing, that it was like a 10-year almost development cycle or whatever. I didn't know who made it. I didn't know if it was an indie thing or like an AM2R situation. I didn't know what kind of game it was.
Yeah.
And it's really unique. It's weird. It seems to be kind of Metroid style, although I don't have a map yet. But there are dungeons like Zelda that are very puzzle-focused. There are boss fights and everything.
Side-scrolling game or what?
It's side-scrolling.
Okay.
Great art style. It almost looks like a 2D... like imagine if PlayStation 1 had a 2D Wind Waker. You know, like the sprites are too detailed to be like 16-bit or anything.
Okay.
Right,
But all the characters look very.
They certainly
Wind
evoke
Waker-y.
like a 16-bit style, but it's
More detailed than that?
Yeah,
especially in the
it's like
audio. The
well,
music and the sound
totally.
effects are very 16-bit.
Okay.
But yeah, it plays really, really well. And you can fly around your Owlboy, and then you can pick up different buddies. I have 2 of them now that I can switch between.
You can
They'll
sleep during the
teleport to
day.
you.
You're Owlboy.
Yep. And they have different abilities
Is
and
there a
stuff.
sleeping mechanic?
I went to a campfire. I slept at a campfire at one point. Yeah.
You have a house with a bed, so
Yeah.
potentially, I guess.
Is there a head turning around mechanic?
It's
I
2D,
don't
so
believe so.
It
No.
wouldn't help much.
Sorry. Okay.
But yeah, I'm only a few hours into it. Beat the first dungeon. I've got 2. Like you carry around people. So like the main guy who kind of looks like Tingle, he can shoot a little gun. Tingle, he's the classic character from the Legend of Zelda franchise. He is a fun guy that puts together treasure maps and has a whole family actually.
Who?
Super into rubies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rubies.
And then the second guy's like this big fat pirate robot that shoots a shotgun that sets things on fire.
It's a great description.
Yep.
All right, big fat pirate robot. Of course. Yeah.
Flaming shotgun.
why not?
He's pretty cool. But yeah, everything I've played so far is really, really fun.
I've heard super good stuff. Yeah,
cool.
I can't believe how long in development. Like I didn't think this game was ever going to come out. And I remember when it was first announced, like this is before like, the 2D retro craze, and seeing these graphics, I'm like, holy shit, they are really nailing this. They're really going for it.
I saw journalists on Twitter saying like, oh yeah, I want to find the old email from 2008
Yeah.
where I requested a review key.
Yeah.
And now it's out. Like
God,
I guess
that's right. I do. Wow, you're totally right. I remember that. Like at the start of this website, I think being something we had heard of.
They
and
had
like,
a beta out
Yeah.
ages ago.
Yeah.
I wonder, did you guys do anything?
I heard they
Not a
scrapped
long
the
time.
whole thing numerous times and restarted.
Okay.
Yeah, I wonder would like so many games, going down this road, this old retro hole, if they had to rethink things.
I feel like this is the first I'm hearing about it. Like
Wow.
over the last month or so of like, oh, Owlboy's coming out. Like what?
It's not ringing a bell to me at all. Like
Yeah,
beforehand. So
I totally remember the name.
it was
all
really
right,
cool
yeah.
going in blind and just seeing what it does because all the mechanics are really just weird. I mean, it takes a lot of stuff from classic games like the more kind of sprawling Metroid type thing, but then like these dungeons and like a Metroid type thing, like it's a hard thing to explain, but I'm looking forward to playing more, and we're gonna record a quick look and I can kind of show it off.
Yeah, cool.
It's a real cool thing.
Awesome.
Cool. Yep.
That's good to hear. I can't wait to play it.
Mm-hmm.
Jason,
What's up?
I'm just sitting here
Man.
talking to you.
Yeah?
About games.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about my capybara last week,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. I made a new sword. I
Okay.
probably made some new
right.
clothes.
Is the sword made out of like steak or something?
No, it's not. Why do you keep touching me, Dan?
You have a watch.
I have
what's
a
up?
watch.
What's going on your wrist?
Oh, I've got a Monster Hunter watch.
What?
It's like there's no hands on it. So when I touch it, all these lights
Oh,
So
wow.
in
Show
order
up
to
on
tell
the
the time,
outside.
you have to touch the watch. It doesn't
and
show
wait,
the time.
it does a little flourish,
Yeah, like an animation has
Yeah.
to finish, and then you
So-
have to count dots to see
then
what
I have
time
to
it
count
is.
you,
dots.
that fails the like if you were hanging one-handed from a ledge, you would never be able to know what time it was.
I could maybe put my nose on it.
All right.
I think.
Okay.
I guess. I don't know. I had to pull myself up. It's so not functional. But it looks cool.
Yeah.
It's
got
really
a-
fun to tap.
It's got a Zen ogre.
Does it do anything else? Like, does it connect up to the game and somehow? And
No, it's just
Nothing?
fucking
It's
awesome.
just- okay.
That's all it is.
Do the yokai watches you can buy connect to the game?
Yeah, to
You can put the
a
medals
certain
in there.
degree. I saw a commercial, where they have some. Yeah, it unlocks some stuff, I guess, in the game.
Okay.
I don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah, God Eater's still good. I'm still not done with it yet.
what's
That's-
your sword made out of?
Bacon. Yeah, there's a little bit of bacon. I threw some chili powder in there
Okay.
as well.
all right.
Yeah, we're trying to find out the identity of. There's a guy or gal, my teammate, that just dresses in a bunny suit, and we don't know anything about this character other than he's awesome.
Okay.
So yeah, we're doing reconnaissance, trying to see what bathroom he goes into
Huh.
and stuff, and what he's doing at night. I'm getting varied reports. 3 different people found him in 3 different locations the night before. So the current theory is that there's 3 different bunny men. Yep.
I feel like this is like some WWE forgotten Adam Rose
Oh
storyline.
God. Didn't they, They never
But
cleared that up.
I'll keep you posted.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
just one of the side stories
Okay.
in God Eater 2 Rage Burst.
Yes.
Yes, it's your God Eater minute.
Game of
Just
the
the bunny from The Shining.
Could be.
Remember that part?
Yeah.
They never explain it. They open that door and there's that bunny doing a thing and it looks at the camera. You don't know what I'm talking about?
Vaguely.
It's the weirdest thing in that movie.
I don't actually know if I've ever seen that thing all the way through.
Have you seen the
I think I've
cinematics
seen-
from Amped 3?
Ha.
I live the cinematics from Amped 3.
Okay.
I was a Dark Summit guy.
Man.
What's going on? Oh, Earth's a Dawn.
Oh yeah.
2D stylish action platformer in the vein of like Miramasa, Odin Sphere, but it's got more of like a hard-nosed sci-fi grit to it, I guess. So it's like, demon alien bugs that have taken over the Earth, and in order for Earth to combat them, they need to fuse with them, so they get these, big burly suits and shit. But a stylish action, right up my alley as far as like, air combos, juggling and, dashing and stuff, and you get graded on your style points and
It's all 2D,
whatever.
right?
But it's all 2D,
Side-scrolling.
yeah,
Yeah.
like a Miramasa
Yeah.
game. I was initially like super intrigued with it. Art style is really, really, like I said, kind of hard nosed, like sci-fi. So it's different than like Miramasa, but the very like cartoonish styled characters, like, oh man, like they've got really big heads and shoulders and torsos and itty bitty stick legs. It's
Okay.
a little strange looking,
Yeah.
but
Little
like
top heavy.
yeah. Some of the weapons look fantastic. I've seen some screenshots where there's a high amount of like customization and stuff. So but it's got kind of a Monster Hunter loop as well, where you're going into a level, you're grinding out, you're picking up, crafting materials and, fusing weapons and shit like that. So, really robust, like skill tree. You can like combine skills into one another. So it's like, I did really well on this mission and I got like an attack +1 ability, and I can fuse that to like a specific string in my attack or something like that. There's a lot going on for it, and I thought that I'd really like it, but it's really wearing thin the more that I go into it. Like that skill tree stuff is that's a little too robust. The combat's a little too simplistic for me. And the environments, I got to the second major area earlier today, and it's just like, okay, this looks exactly the same. So this may end up being like something where if I get deep enough in, could be great.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I'm
Kind of burning out on it.
Yeah.
Did you play any of
Real
that
quick.
Odin Sphere remake?
A little bit. I played the
From earlier this
the
year?
Japanese demo actually.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks super good. I would love to get back into that, but man, there's too much Game of the Year stuff to
A lot of
to go
stuff.
through.
A lot of video games to play.
But yeah, I hope I come around on this because I like it, and it really drew me in at first. But yeah, we'll see.
Cool. All right.
Other than that, yeah, Titanfall a little bit. And
Seems
all the
to
good
be
stuff.
seems to be kind of ruling the office.
yeah, we did Halloween over the weekend as well.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Took the little guy out to a pumpkin patch and
Yeah.
trick or treating and
Nice.
stuff for his first time. It was fucking awesome.
We got exactly 3 trick-or-treaters, and they all came
Really?
came at once.
Oh,
Wait, were they all
jeez.
part of the same group?
It was 2 separate groups.
Okay.
But, yeah, and that was it. I mean, it was
much-
it was a little rainy.
How much candy did you buy?
3 bags.
Okay.
So
What
Seems
kind?
like every year I'm like lamenting the loss of like neighborhood like trick or treating things because
Yeah.
that was such a big thing when I
oh
was
yeah,
growing up.
that was the thing.
yeah, you're roving around fucking shit up.
Yeah.
like,
No,
yeah.
Sure.
just amassing candy.
So we actually
We stole beer out of a guy's garage one year
Nice.
because he left his garage door open. Like, what do you?
Well,
you know?
yeah, it was take.
I know
one.
some houses they just leave the candy out for you to take.
Yeah,
you know,
but
so.
but
Just shut off
also
the
we
lights
were in junior high, so instead we threw the bottles and broke them on the street instead of actually drinking the beer.
you could drink the beer and
junior
still
high?
throw the bottles.
You know, you're right.
Yeah.
But I did not acquire a taste for beer until I was, let's say, 20.
yeah, that's
So
fair.
At that point, I was like, well, this is actually useless to me because it's gross.
Sure.
Woo!
I had that by age 12. What are you talking about?
Yeah. No,
But yeah, each year it's like, God damn it, I miss those old days. But we actually we did some research and we found out like which neighborhoods in the area are actually doing like closed streets, trick or treating and stuff.
yeah,
So we
yeah.
drove around those areas and just to experience it. 'cause
What did
it's
he
been
go
so
as?
long?
That's the question.
A Whittle Wolfman.
Okay.
He was adorable.
Yeah.
If you check out my Twitter, you can probably see some pictures.
Paste some fake fur to his face.
It was a store bought costume. We don't
Okay.
have time to make anything. At least it normally does. But yeah.
Did you guys dress up?
We had some leftover costumes, and I was Frankenstein's monster.
All right.
She was a bride of.
No shame.
Yeah, no
Recycling
Yeah,
a good costume.
yeah, they're good. The hat that I use for my Frankenstein outfit, Lisa made for me. It's based off of my Xbox avatar, the one that I
Nice.
wear
Okay.
all year round. It's super great.
That's good
Cool.
stuff.
No, Halloween was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of fun.
What about you? What?
Griffin got scared at a movie.
Oh,
Like, I've been watching like Child's Play and stuff in front of him, and those are kind of campy, whatever. But we watched the Stephen King like Cat's Eyes stuff, that trilogy or whatever,
right.
And that troll in the last part. First time he saw the troll, like he actually got scared. He went up, he reeled up, and he started crying, and I felt fucking terrible because I've been watching all these horror movies around him, and he didn't give a shit. But this is the first time that he was like, "What the fuck is that? Get it off the screen."
I was a little bit older than that. But I had a freaky experience around seeing some fucked up shit on television late night, and
man, that stuff never
affected me for
me.
years.
Wow.
The thing that sticks in my mind, and I think I was like 5 or something, is the arm wrestling scene from The Fly.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
The Goldblum one?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got super strength.
The Cronenberg.
Oh man, Dan, see The Fly.
Dude, it's fun.
Okay.
I was way too young to see that.
Yeah.
Especially,
Mine was Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Well, yeah.
That terrified me.
if I remember, like he's arm wrestling a dude, and he's already been mutated, but it hasn't become obvious yet. And like how flies like secrete acid on their food.
Yeah.
So he's like arm wrestling this guy, and like there's like acid like subtly coming out of his skin down this guy's arm, and then he just like rips the guy's arm in half as they're on. He just
All right.
splits the arm. Ugh.
The non-fly man?
Yes.
Okay, so the fly breaks the non-fly man.
Yeah, it's just right. Ugh.
I watched the first 2 Halloween movies for the first time.
Oh yeah,
over the weekend.
Yeah, how did that go?
They're really good.
Yeah.
And I'm also realizing that I think any John Carpenter movie, I think I can enjoy any of his movies as long as he made the music. Like his music is so good.
Yeah, we got into
the
that
music
a
for
little
Ghost
bit.
of Mars.
I have not seen Ghosts of Mars. I've not seen Vampires.
Is that the
I haven't seen-
Vampires is good. I mean, let me rephrase that. I enjoyed Vampires.
Is that the one with James Woods as the preacher?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that pretty recent?
That's like
Relatively
97,
speaking,
Oh, okay.
98.
No, but
Okay.
yes, I guess in the grand scheme
Like,
of
is
things.
Carpenter doing a lot of stuff these days?
Out on tour right now.
Made a
with his
movie in a
band.
while.
Yeah.
I haven't
Writing
seen-
Game of the Year top 10s.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
that take quite a bit of time.
I need to watch The Thing again. But yeah, I
Thing's
spent
fantastic.
a lot of time this weekend listening to, he's got these Lost Themes albums on Spotify, and it's just shit that he made for movies that never made it into a movie.
Oh, wow.
And it all sounds awesome.
Huh.
It's great.
We dove into his musical catalog a little bit on UPF.
Oh, the Coup de Villes
It was-
musical catalog.
it was a
Yeah,
good
the
time.
Big Trouble in Little China music video. Please look that up.
Got to follow up on that stuff.
Yeah, he's just the best. Oh my god.
Seems like a decent guy.
Yeah.
But you enjoyed the movies?
They're great.
Yeah,
I like
they
the first
hold up.
one more so.
Yeah, totally.
But 2 was still fun. But the first one is just fantastic.
Yeah.
It's great. He's a cool bad guy. And like putting it in context, like not seeing a lot of horror movies and seeing that like all those tropes came from that.
Exactly.
You know, like the house party and the teenagers having sex and getting killed and all that
I'll
stuff.
be right back.
The the revelation about Big Trouble and Mortal Kombat on Friday was just like fucking mind blowing to me. I mean,
Yeah.
granted,
Did you end
I've
up
never,
watching
I've
it?
never-
Yeah, dude.
I've never seen it. I've never
Yeah.
seen it or even seen like scenes from it or knew anything
So
about it.
I have like zero love for Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
Like it's came out, it came and went, and
Yeah.
it didn't really do anything for me at the time, and has yet to. But yeah, when Mortal Kombat came out, you're like, dude.
we were just watching the music video, and even that, it was just
Yeah.
like,
It's
dude,
Shang
like,
Tsung and Raiden.
eight different
Yeah.
things in this are like 1-to-1 with Mortal Kombat. Like,
Yeah.
it's incredible. Now I have to see that.
Lopan has an old and young form.
Yeah.
This old sorcerer
Yeah.
who wants to like just steal souls, basically.
It's ridiculous. That's good stuff. Quick follow up to last week. I finished Headmaster.
Yeah.
So I can confirm
Okay.
it is possible.
Cool.
You platinum?
Do you ever feel like you
there's
got
no platinum, which
There's
is
no platinum.
fucking
Oh,
insane.
yeah,
right.
I saw you got some trophies
Yeah.
on PSN, and I'm like, oh shit, did he get the platinum?
Yeah,
I
there is.
realized
That's
isn't.
crazy, dude. Like the fact that Job Simulator has a platinum
right
for just for playing through it.
That's an hour and a half.
And,
tops.
and Headmaster is like one of the harder games I've played in a very long time. And there are totally trophies for like get 3 stars on every level and stuff. But no.
Did you ever feel like you dialed in?
No
like
shiny
you got-
object
you got
at the end.
Better.
Yeah, like I was on the last exam, and then there's like kind of a little prologue-y kind of thing, and then there's like a final exam. Within that span of like 4 levels, I had to like completely change the way I was playing the game. Basically,
Really?
like, I had been kind of like letting the ball come at me and sort of like lobbing it back at the target, kind of in an arc. And then I found that basically like you want to kind of like drive it in.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
really?
You want to like just straight line from your head to the target.
So that's
you're
what
aiming at.
that's how I played it when I
Yeah,
was playing it.
yeah.
But like I hadn't dialed in the actually aiming. So
Even-
it was
even
like I
then-
was just getting it to
Yeah.
go exactly the spot I wanted to hit.
Even then,
Yeah.
it's nowhere near foolproof to do it that
Right.
way. But I mean, the big problem is early on, a lot of the targets you're trying to hit are right in front of you.
Yeah.
And at that point, the ball, if you keep your head completely stationary, the ball will still bounce hard enough to just hit those targets.
Yeah, so you kind of need to look up and have it hit the bottom of your face
So,
and angle it down.
Yeah, and you just don't want to put a lot of force behind it because you can easily overshoot those early levels. So basically, like the way the early game plays kind of is counters the way the late game plays to some extent for me. But like it's a cool game. Like they don't do any like Portal level bait and switches. I mean, obviously that game takes a lot of inspiration from Portal with the kind of the institutional announcer voice and stuff, but like they get clever at the end. Cool. Like the ending is cool, even though they're not like, you know, like I said last week, you're not going into space or anything crazy. But the game's all right. I played a little bit of Tethered also on PlayStation VR.
Right. Yeah. Oh. Okay,
which is like a God game. Like it's a VR God game, which would like probably be completely unremarkable and just fine and okay in the normal context, but like once you're like actually like bodily hovering over the land,
totally into it.
Like it's cool. It's a neat thing. Like all you're doing, you're directing little. They're called peeps. They're just little goblin.
They're really called peeps.
They're called peeps. They're little goblin-y looking people.
I approve.
You're just directing them around to like. You could if you wanted.
Let them sit out and get stale.
Yeah, totally.
Delicious.
You got to keep them moving. I mean, they have like hunger and happiness levels, and you're directing them around to collect resources and build stuff. And there's like weather that appears in the sky, different clouds and stuff. So you're like connecting things up to make all these different weather effects happen and stuff. It's like it's well designed, but like kind of, you know, what you would expect from that kind of game. It's just like being there physically over the thing. It's kind of that board game feel of just like looking down at stuff. Like it's neat. We should do something with that game. It's pretty neat. But that's all I've had time for in the last week. But luckily, a lot of news has been breaking.
A lot of what?
A lot of headlines have occurred in the last week, so luckily we've still got plenty of show to go here as we get into the news. I don't know if we're going to be doing a Nintendo Switch update every week from now until January, but we definitely have some more details trickling out of that stuff.
What you got?
I guess Nintendo's been commenting here and there, in them saying how much they're not going to say until January. They've said a little bit more.
Yeah, I'll get what they said out of the way first because they've announced there is a live streamed event happening on January 12th.
Yeah,
which I believe is taking place in Tokyo.
I believe that is the case. Yeah.
It's going to show the game lineup.
Yeah, so that'll be actual release date in March, price, and like launch lineup, or I think they describe it as like games currently in development.
Yeah.
So maybe launch window stuff there, but like 2 weeks back from the holiday break, and then here's all your big Switch
post CES.
Yeah, big Switch info dump.
Do they still have a window for release?
March.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm looking for the wording. Their statement says there will be opportunities for the public to participate in other hands-on events around the same time. Details of which will be announced later.
Your local Best Buy.
So maybe
I assume that's what that.
Well, I don't know if that means retail is that's 2 months before launch, or
I mean, I'm sure they could do a tour, a Best Buy.
I guess that's not too soon.
I feel like Nintendo has done Best Buy stuff before with E3, didn't they?
Yeah.
They do that truck thing where they drive the truck or the RV or whatever around and park it in parking lots and let people play.
Shows up in demo derbies.
Yeah.
Sure. And then hopefully maybe we'll be getting our first chance to look at that thing too. Yeah. Around that time. Anyway, Eurogamer has got some new details. This stuff, according to them, comes from the same people who Eurogamer's the one who reported the freaking detachable controller stuff months ago. So these sources appear to be pretty good. They're saying that screen is a 6.2 inch screen at 720p.
Yeah.
Which is kind of less than I was expecting.
That's those numbers have been going around for a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know that they were the first to report that.
Maybe not.
But yeah.
I don't know. I guess 7-inch tablets are big. I kind of expected not that 0.8 inch is that big a difference.
Sure. Yeah.
How big is the gamepad?
That's the thing is like
it's got to be way smaller than that. You're talking
Gamepad's
about the Wii U gamepad?
Yeah, the screen.
The screen on that thing. I could Google it if you want, but
yeah.
6.2?
Surely that thing is way smaller than that.
Yeah.
Really?
That just scares me, like how small the side pads are going to be.
Well, the Switch is smaller. Right, and that's what you're saying. The Switch is smaller than the gamepad.
the Wii U gamepad.
Oh, really? That's a pretty decent size.
I
think any bigger would be cumbersome.
I think screen size will be the difference, but also.
Oh wait, are you talking about the whole unit or the screen?
Yeah,
or the
form
screen?
factor around it will be different. We don't know necessarily.
Oh, I thought you were talking about just the screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am curious about the screen size. Yeah.
Yeah.
As compared to Wii U.
I don't know.
Look that up. The screen size of the Wii U.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for here. Oh, dude, what? It's 6.2 inches.
All right.
Okay.
I guess
that's
all right.
fine.
There's the size of your screen. It's the
Totally.
same as the Wii U gamepad.
I play games on the gamepad enough.
Yeah, it's fine. It's
totally
it's not
fine, yeah.
it's totally fine. But
Is the gamepad 720?
I don't. Well, shit. I just closed that tab.
I don't know.
I guess I could find out for you.
It looks
Is it an easy way to compare, like, what to expect
no,
from this
no,
thing?
no. Never mind. Here we go. It's that thing is 854 by 480.
Oh, okay.
So this
Okay.
will definitely look
Cool.
better than that. Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. The Wii U gamepad looks decent already,
Yeah,
and
that's
if
fine.
this thing is going to be higher res than that, that's fine. But
For
you know,
reference, the 3DS XL top screen is 4.88 inches.
okay,
Okay.
that's adequate.
Yeah, it seems fine.
But yeah, like 7-inch tablets are everywhere, like freaking gigantic PPI
Right.
Retina display.
Yeah.
Like that definitely lags behind like what the tablet market is used to.
Yeah, but this isn't something that you're going to necessarily be looking at web pages and
Yeah.
like tiny
You're right.
text and all that sort of stuff. Like it's
You're right.
you would obviously want 1080, but I don't think it necessarily suffers too much at 720.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It's
We'll see.
funny if you go back to the Wii U, I think it was, 2011 launch trailer? Would that have been? It came out in 2012,
yeah,
right?
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good chunk of that launch trailer showing the different ways you can browse the internet on that thing. And like, you can
Right,
swipe the web page from your tablet to
Like
the TV.
remember their
and like,
TV
what?
stuff?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You were like, oh, watch television. Oh, use this. As
Yeah.
like they put a button on the controller for that. Like
Go
it's
back
insane.
and watch that and see how much of that stuff didn't really pan out.
Yeah.
I mean, I play golf with that thing to this day.
Oh, totally.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Throw it down
Set
on
that
the
thing
floor.
on the floor
Yep.
and let's
Anywhere in my
fucking
house.
go.
Just do a quick 9. That's pretty much it. They're reiterating this infrared pointer business with the Joy-Con
Right.
that
Yeah.
Let's Play Video Games was talking about last week. So there's that.
It sounds like people that frame by framed the trailer make it seem like there are hidden triggers in that thing. So if you're holding sideways, that you'll
okay.
kind of still get
Okay.
multiple triggers and
All
all that
right.
sort of stuff.
Okay.
So it's yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Time will tell if we'll be getting any more kind of info trickling out between now and January.
Well, I'm sure there'll be some stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, there have been so many leaks
Yeah.
about this thing. That,
Sure.
you expect that to continue. We're not going to wait till the 12th to hear everything. We'll probably get some more leaks between now and then.
Yes. Just a question of what there is to leak besides the big stuff.
Yeah,
Which
firm game details
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
At this point, is where we're headed. Like that's kind of all that's left, and price speculation and stuff like that. Of course,
Maybe the name of that Mario game or something.
Show me that Monster Hunter game.
I would totally just name it Super Mario Switch. That's what people are calling it.
I guess that would make
That's
sense.
totally fine.
Like,
But so we're just going to open that can of worms? It's just like game name Switch?
I think that I think a Mario game in particular, you could build a lot of things around Switch type mechanics.
Sure.
Not necessarily the console Switch, but like, hey, put a bunch of switches in it. Hey, there are 2 worlds. Switch between them.
So we bring
Like,
back the
there's-
Switch Palace?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Super Mario Ikaruga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of game names, this is-
Okay.
oh God, where is it? I've lost the story.
Oh.
Just want to make Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Does that do anything for you?
Sure, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that apparently leaked off of public transit yesterday.
Yeah.
Muni
an ad?
breaking hot
Yeah,
scoops.
yeah. Well,
Was
so
that
I
really
guess
here?
this was in Montreal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some guy had some marketing materials open on his laptop.
Oh,
and a photo got out on social media.
I thought you meant like a billboard went up in
No,
the
no, no,
subway.
no,
Like,
no.
Oh, okay.
This is straight up. Some guy was looking at sensitive materials in public that he shouldn't have been.
Be
So
careful.
You could fake that, to be honest. This is
no.
probably accurate, but
So I pulled the story off Kotaku, who said they spoke to sources who corroborated this name
yeah.
after it got out.
But that's look, man. We could put an image on a laptop and take a picture of it on a bus of anything.
We should try that.
do that.
We should do that with the Mario one. Let's make a good Photoshop of the new Mario box art,
Yeah.
and I'll just sit on the train with my laptop all the time with that open.
No, I was saying we'll just create a fake Twitter account. We'll take our own picture of it and put it up.
So we stage it. This is like Wag the Dog.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You haven't pulled a good hoax in a while, right?
No, I'd be totally game to actually do this.
There's no point in that. I had my fun the year I made a fake E3 game list.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
And I posted it somewhere and saying and acknowledging this is a fake game list.
right.
And it took all of 20 minutes for someone to go, look at this.
And it was going around for a while, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I take it back. I don't want to do a Mario related thing. I want to do something that will get John Drake in trouble.
Whew. Playing with fire on that one.
Yeah.
It worked fine the first time with no
I don't know.
consequences.
I don't know how much more he's going to take.
Yeah, no, that's.
before something bad happens.
I'm convinced that someday he is just going to snap your neck.
Yeah.
Yes.
I haven't done anything
for past transgressions. You've already built up a neck breaking.
Oh, I have
this
not done
point.
it. Yeah, I guess I've not done anything bad to him in recent years, right? Like it was mostly before I was actually working in the industry.
I suspect he would disagree.
Yeah.
but
I think he's still feeling it from the last time, to be
yeah.
honest. But,
Okay.
yeah.
I'll find a way.
you can just put this theory to the test if you want.
What's he working on?
Oh, all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
They're saying this one's coming out of Eidos Montreal.
Yeah.
It's not being done at Crystal Dynamics, which makes you wonder what Crystal Dynamics is going to do next. If not a third Tomb Raider game.
Legacy of Kain.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Gex.
Yeah.
Gex.
What?
Sequel to Deep Cover Gecko.
Another very accurate port of Samurai Showdown 2.
Okay. All right. Do you genuinely want another Gex game?
Gex was not great.
Dana,
I love my 3D platformers, but Gex.
Dana Gould needs
is
work,
fine.
right?
Yeah. Who voiced Croc?
Dana Gould, didn't he wrote for The Simpsons? For
No,
a
he's
while.
Yeah,
He's
he was like a
Dana
head
Gould-
writer
he
for
does
The
not-
Simpsons.
I'm sure he actually
Dana
doesn't
Gould does
need
not
work.
need work.
Who voiced Croc?
I did.
Yeah,
It's me. Yeah,
you were the Legend of the Gobos.
that's me.
Yeah.
I am the Legend of the Gobos. Not a lot of people know that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, breaking here.
Anyway, yeah, that's the Eidos Montreal is the Deus Ex
Right.
Mankind Divided studio.
Yeah.
Supposedly taking a stab at the third Tomb Raider game.
I wonder if that will result in a markedly different type of game.
I don't know.
I would be interested in seeing something different.
Yeah, they kind of expanded on the ideas from the first one in the second one in
Yeah.
some cool ways, and I liked where they left the story with some intrigue at the end. There was some good post-credits stuff at the end.
That's,
The second one, it was like, I wonder
Eidos
where this is gonna
Montreal
go.
is an intrigue style of studio.
Yeah. Yeah.
What if they just made Deus Ex with Lara Croft? What if it just like totally like diverged completely mechanically? Just like, I don't know, we thought this would be a good idea. You'd be like, are you crazy? I mean, not
not
that
a
this
good
is
idea.
necessarily a bad game. What the what?
Lara Croft versus the Illuminati.
Lara Croft never asked for this.
It's true. That's for sure. All right, let's take one more break, and then we got a bunch more news stories to plow through.
All right, let's hear it. If you want to find the best candidates for your open position, you've got to get that job listing out everywhere.
So, like, get up on top of a building with a bullhorn,
Yeah.
just start shouting.
Just start shouting. That's one way people do it, I'm told, I'm sure.
Can I hire a skywriter?
No,
But it's in the sky. Like, everybody's gonna see it, right?
no, you want a virtual skyrider, someone who's going to reach across the virtual sky of cyberspace.
Okay. Just cyber sky.
Yes, ZipRecruiter has a full database that you can post to. ZipRecruiter will get your job out to over 100 job sites. That includes some social media networks like Facebook, like Twitter. Have you heard of those?
I didn't even know there were that many job sites.
Exactly. There are tons of them, and with a single click, you can reach them all thanks to ZipRecruiter. It's a search engine for finding and posting jobs. You can find candidates in any city or industry nationwide. Just post it once and watch the qualified candidates roll into ZipRecruiter's easy-to-use interface.
What kind of jobs are we talking?
Jobs!
Job, like employment?
What kind of employment you looking for? They've got it. Are you looking for a job? No, seriously, are you looking for a job? I would like to know.
Could I professionally eat ice cream?
You could probably do that. I bet someone must earn a living doing that.
Yeah.
That sounds like a content creator type of role,
Okay.
which I think technically you may already do.
Oh.
But there's no juggling emails or calls to your office. You can quickly screen those candidates, rate them, and hire the right person fast. And if you've got any trouble, ZipRecruiter's got a friendly human support staff who is ready to help you.
Cyberhumans?
Cyberhumans, over 1 million businesses have used it. That's right.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. You can post those jobs for free on ZipRecruiter right now by going to ziprecruiter.com/bombcast. That's right. Try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/bombcast.
Jeff, I know you guys talked about this at length on the Beastcast last week.
We did, yeah.
But I feel we would be remiss if we did not also touch on the new review policy that Bethesda has made explicit
Right, yeah.
in the last week.
Yeah, they posted this. I think it was while we were doing the podcast last week.
Yes,
or
right. It was
or
like-
just after,
Like
or
tail
something
end
like that.
right
yeah.
around there, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you might want to just quote from it directly.
I could just read the whole thing if you want.
Yeah, go ahead. It's
Yeah, so
It's
Bethesda,
something else.
they posted this on their Beth blog. It's entitled Bethesda and Game Reviews. At Bethesda, we value media reviews. We read them, we watch them, we try to learn from them when they offer critique, and we understand their value to our players. Earlier this year, we released Doom. We sent review copies to arrive the day before launch, which led to speculation about the quality of the game. Since then, Doom has emerged as a critical and commercial hit and is now one of the highest-rated shooters of the past few years. With the upcoming launches of Skyrim Special Edition and Dishonored 2, we will continue our policy of sending media review copies one day before release. While we will continue to work with media, streamers, and YouTubers to support their coverage both before and after release, we want everyone, including those in the media, to experience our games at the same time. Now, we also understand that some of you want to read reviews before you make your decision, and if that's the case, we encourage you to wait for your favorite reviewers to share their thoughts.
Even if that's a week or two after release.
Well, by necessity, it will be sometime after.
And also, here's a long list of pre-order bonuses.
Yeah.
Act now to avoid disappointment. Blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
Right.
Uh,
Or in the case of Dishonored, act now to play it a day
day
early,
early,
which
which would be
is basically the
same
time that review
they would
codes
be.
are going out.
But they'll still be working with YouTubers, right?
If they're
So
enthusiastic
yeah,
enough.
they put this out, and then like days before that, people out there on YouTube have really been posting Skyrim
Yeah.
remastered videos
Yeah.
in a very non-critical way.
Yeah. And I mean, they themselves were tweeting about some of the Skyrim streams that were going on. Like,
Exactly.
they were
Yeah.
promoting
Yeah.
some of these streams like a days or a week before this statement came out.
Yeah, So I think that it's pretty it's a weird statement because they they get out and mention Doom as if and it went on to be great.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to continue doing that. Leaving out the part where the Doom multiplayer beta was savaged to a point where they were probably scared to send out review copies ahead of time.
Right.
And they lucked into that one because the single player in Doom turned out to be amazing.
I feel
And they probably didn't actually quite know that the single player was that amazing
Right.
before they got it out there.
Yeah, hanging your hat on Doom is problematic for 3 different reasons.
Sure.
It kind of doesn't really hold up with the logic they're presenting here. We want everyone, to experience our games at the same time. It's
But-
you guys ran that multiplayer beta
A
month or two ahead of time. That's not exactly.
They ran that, and then also, they want everyone to experience their games at the same time. Meanwhile, here is a ton of people on YouTube posting Skyrim footage who are, not in a critical capacity. There's Kotaku ran a story about this, which it's recovered the facts of it or whatever, but linked to a YouTube video that we actually played a clip of on the Beastcast. And the guy, whatever, I'm sure the guy's super enthusiastic about Skyrim. I'm not knocking him.
Yeah.
But it's 30 seconds of going, wow, Bethesda contacted me and said they were going to send me a copy of the game. Great.
The Bethesda.
So here it is. They said they overnighted it to me. And it's okay, yeah, no, sure.
Do you
If
think
that's the type of coverage that Bethesda wants, and clearly this is the type of coverage they want around the lead up to their launch, as opposed to reviews that might dare to say something negative about a game, then of course, I totally get why they would do this in the wake of probably how they thought Doom was going to review, and then also with the way Fallout launched pre-patch, of course they would want to prevent those sorts of reviews from hitting. So I get why they would do this, and to get out there and issue this statement about how much they value reviews, I think is really not the truth.
That part reads as incredibly disingenuous.
Yeah.
Do you
for
think
sure.
these YouTubers are signing things the things saying oh, make sure you show the product in a positive light?
In this specific case, I have no idea.
We don't
That
know,
certainly
but-
has been the case in some, Warner has paid YouTube people to stream the game on Twitch, and
Hasn't
but-
Microsoft
But then took a lot of heat from the FCC for that.
yes,
I would-
but those standards are in the process of being established.
Right. It's
to where-
it's because they weren't transparent enough.
Right.
It's not that they did it. It's that they didn't come out and say explicitly that that's
Exactly,
what they had
yes.
done. I would absolutely bet in the case of these bedroom streamers that with 40,000 subscribers or whatever that are super stoked that they talk to Bethesda, they're not signing a contract and getting paid.
They can just safely assume that these people are gonna
I'm
freak
guessing
out over this game.
Yeah. I'm
and-
guessing in those cases they're excited enough just to get the game early.
yeah, potentially. So yeah, I don't know. Like obviously, it's their prerogative.
Yeah,
to,
totally. It is
you know,
absolutely
not distribute copies ahead of time.
right.
Like there's no legal obligation or any
Right. Yeah,
nonsense like that.
And like I have a certain amount of respect for the fact that they just came out and said it. You know, hey, we're not doing this anymore.
I think for me, it's the part where like they kind of came out and said it, but are clearly not doing the thing that they came out and said.
Well, yeah,
you know, that you look at it and go like, well, you're saying that you're doing this, but clearly you're not. You still want like some form of like neutral to positive coverage, be it from the existing press through preview coverage. Like the day that they put this out, we had just turned down a visit from Harvey Smith and the producer of Dishonored 2, you know, not because of this, but because we just, you know, I was headed to New York and you know, we weren't going to, the timing of it wasn't going to line up, but
we already had like an unfinished up.
But the idea that they would obviously want to like get access to our audience for the purposes of, you know, talking about their game before anyone is talking about it qualitatively.
Yeah, in a very controlled way.
Yeah, in these types of interviews and stuff like that, they would want access to our audience for that sort of stuff, but won't honor and respect our audience enough to then close the loop at the end with like timely review, like allowing for timely review coverage. Is, you know, like it's just crazy.
Yeah, you can't have it both ways.
Yeah. I don't see how they can pretend that this benefits anyone but them.
Right.
And not the media, not the consumer.
Yeah, like we want everyone to experience it at the same time is like a meaningless phrase. Like,
this is for Bethesda because they're scared of reviews.
Yeah,
that's it.
Like, absolutely. And I bet that this policy is not being like honored in a completely flat way across the board. When you look, you know, I'm sure that there are long lead outlets that are probably still getting review copies.
Yep.
And then on top of that, you've got, you know, the YouTube situation and stuff like that. So it's a mess. Like when you look at the statement, and if that's like 100% what they were doing, you go like, okay, well, I can respect that. Like, all right, sure, I guess, why not?
It's like we'll wait for you to send it, or we will buy our copy and
like you don't want people to know that Fallout shipped with a bunch of bugs. Sure, of course you don't. Of course you don't. So just do it.
Have any of these
then when they are not kind of sticking to that, I'll be curious to see. So yeah, like in the wake of that, there was the rounds of Dishonored interviews and stuff like that they were doing, and they say that they'll continue to support and all this other stuff. And yeah, sure.
Are these YouTuber things, these early ones with Skyrim, are they live streamed specifically? Because I wonder if they would not want it to be live streamed in case there was
there's certainly I think
like bugs and stuff.
Yeah. Although, so I mean, in this case, this is anecdotal, just from what I saw looking around, that a lot of the videos on YouTube were these smaller time, like people I never heard of, and then some of the live streams that were taking place that were promoted by Bethesda were absolutely big name streamers that I had heard of. So that seemed to be the split there. So there may very well have been a contract in place with those live streams that they were promoting. I don't know for sure.
That aspect of it, I don't think matters that much.
Yeah.
Like you know, they're gonna do marketing. They're gonna go out and buy marketing or figure out ways to market their game using, you know, people that have active YouTube communities or Twitch communities.
And I've never had a problem with that stuff existing because everybody, each individual is capable of making up their own mind about who they trust and what form of coverage they want. But as long as all forms of coverage still exist, you know, as long as the option is there to go look for an impartial, you know, if your favorite streamer is doing some kind of brand deal a week early and streaming the game and you're fine with that, then that's cool. Like that's totally your option. But when there are no other options is when it starts to break down.
Well, it's when they specifically work to prevent like like critical opinions from getting out there in their launch window. Like that's, you know, that's clearly what they're trying to do here. So, and fine. I totally get why a company like that has shipped highly popular games that launch in a fucked up state would want to stop reviews from hitting the week of launch. Like, sure.
We don't see this in the movie industry, though. Like, hundreds of millions of dollars go into movies, and, you know, occasionally they will do the, like, oh, we're not screening it for critics, but that is when these movies are fucking terrible.
That's when you know, like in the case of movies, when they don't screen stuff early, that's absolutely when you know it's probably terrible. But
and in games, you have seen that, but also it's not always the case that a game that is not sent out for review is bad.
That's true. Yeah, that is absolutely true. I even see people extending that to anything that's embargoed until launch day is probably terrible, which is 100% not the case.
No,
like
most things are embargoed until launch day. That's the way
been
things
standard
go.
procedure for years and years.
You know, I mean, that's fine. If they don't want to support our endeavors to, you know, cover games in a timely and critical fashion, that's on them.
Yeah, it's absolutely their right to do that.
But also, you know, like it's, you know, we probably won't devote a lot of time to preview coverage of their games on a go forward basis.
Right. Which is
simply because, like, you know, again, like if they don't respect our audience enough to to let us do the thing at the end that we do,
Right.
then letting them kind of have access to that audience free and clear of that kind of check and balance at the end, I think is unfair to our audience.
That's not out of spite. It's absolutely about maintaining the level of trust with the people you're trying to serve.
Yeah.
I mean, they want the stuff that will just directly benefit them, and they can control the message, with the preview coverage. But then at the end,
we'll opt out of that, and if we end up buying Bethesda games from here on out, that's fine. That's we've got the budget to do that. It's not a big deal. So whatever.
Kind of a bummer because I like a lot of what they've done over the last few. Like they have been.
They don't put out a lot of games.
Not
but
a lot.
They,
but it's definitely a very different Bethesda from the days of like Wet and Rogue Warrior. Like especially with like id is near and dear to my heart, and like they are 2 for 2 on like handling classic id properties like way better than you could possibly have hoped for.
Yeah.
So to see this happening on the like kind of public relations end,
there are
creative output has been good.
There are interviews and stuff that I would love to do with some of the people behind some of those games and that sort of stuff. But
like Dishonored 2 looks like it will probably be totally solid.
For anybody from what I've played, it's great, and fans of that series are going to super dig it, and I'm really looking forward to it. But man, I'm not looking forward to like having to rush through, to do like a quick look. But
what's going to
embargoes and stuff like that? Like I think there are people that are confused about why that stuff tends to exist, and the kind of main reason why that exists is to kind of create a level playing field for the different media outlets, and also to give them time to work on something instead of just like crapping out the fastest thing they can.
I mean, it results in better coverage when everybody has
and I think we're removed from that because we don't really we've never really operated by the we have to be first sort of mentality, so that's none of this really affects us that much. As much as it might affect other outlets out there that are very much in the game of we should have it first or alongside everybody else or all this other stuff. Like, it's not that big of a deal for us and the way we cover games, but the message it sends, and again, I think it's a lack of respect for our audience, and that's the part that really brings me down.
Yeah,
same.
One might say it is dishonorable.
Whoa,
damn it.
You could go that far.
You could.
If you were so bold.
You could.
I mean, it's worth pointing out that they're not even the first publisher to make this move. They're just the first ones to come out and state it so directly.
No, like 2K
is already on this page.
Been doing this a little bit this year as well. And, that's...
And I don't imagine by any stretch that Bethesda will be the last.
Oh, no. Yeah, this is, like we talked about on the Beastcast, like this sort of stuff has been... This seems like it's been a long time coming, and this is the pivot from publishers caring very much about their day one Metacritic rating to maybe realizing like, oh, actually, you know what? Maybe this doesn't matter at all.
As long as we're hitting X number of channels on Twitch on launch day or the day before, we're fine.
Yeah. There are a lot of different audiences out there for different types of video game content, and they're choosing to support one over the other. And, I get it.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly, there's going to be day one reviews out there. And do you think that you would question those reviews, thinking that they had rushed through the game, or
I probably. Yeah.
Although this raises a lot of. I mean, it's going to vary from game to game like that. So, like bringing up the film analogy is weird because like the logistics of review. Well, you've probably reviewed movies, right? Or have you? No,
talked about them a bunch.
Do that for the newspaper? No,
just video.
But
game
like
guy.
like the logistics of reviewing a movie are typically like what 2 hours of your time roughly to see the movie, and then whatever time it takes to like analyze and write the review. But like 2 hours versus anywhere from 8 to 100.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the time commitment, like the time it takes to write a good review of a long video game is so much different than it is for a movie. Like probably if somebody plays Dishonored for 20 straight hours and then shits out a review in 30 minutes. Like,
and I've done exactly that. Like I was talking about last week, Ocarina of Time. Like we got it. We got it Friday. The review was going to run like Monday or Tuesday or something like that. And I basically went home and did nothing but play that game.
Yeah.
What do you give it?
A 10.
Okay.
That's your first 10, right?
Yeah, it was GameSpot's first 10.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
And I stand by that. That's not me going like, if I had more time to think about it, maybe no, it's like I'm confident enough in my abilities in that case to do that without, making snap judgments and making mistakes and all that sort of stuff, I guess. But like at the same time, it's less than ideal.
I've done it too. Like I remember playing 45 hours of Mass Effect 2 in like 4 days, like basically 15 hours a day.
Yeah.
But even though like you can get the job done, like you can do it and like generally feel good about the output at the end, but like I'm never in quite like the headspace I want to be at the end of that process when I do it that way. You know, like I start feeling a little like stir crazy, like a little bit loopy upstairs when I have to stare at something for that long without any time to stop and think about and like reflect on what you've done.
I think
you have to just keep going.
I think that part of that though is reflective of how reviews have changed and need to change in the future. Is that there is more of that time. Like if you think about the years we spent at GameSpot, where I was running the reviews team and all that other stuff, and you were on previews, but you reviewed quite a lot of games.
Yeah.
We set up an efficient machine for reviewing games
as
quickly as we possibly could.
There was a lot of pressure
because
to get
there were
through
more
games.
games. Because there were always more games.
Yep.
And the reviews we were writing were purchasing advice and very focused on that sort of stuff and the technical nature of it and that sort of stuff. A lot of that is still important, but I think we've reached a point where the gaming audience has grown up to a certain point where they want something that's a little more reasoned and a little more thought out and a little more aimed at, a little more in the direction of criticism as opposed to a review. And I think like that's been a shift I've been personally trying to make over these last few years. But again, running that machine for a decade makes it very hard to stop, like to break that mentality and go no, I need to really think about this game as opposed to just like boom, 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 boom.
It is so difficult to get out of that mold.
Yeah.
Like even to this day, writing a review, it's like, well, I got to have my graphics paragraph and my sound paragraph.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the multiplayer paragraph. Like it's awful. It's an awful formulaic way to approach something like that.
But like a very efficient and useful one.
Yeah.
Like again, like those reviews served a lot of people for a lot of years.
Yeah,
and
totally.
and like I don't want to discount that.
Yeah.
And but I think that like again, like times have changed. The audience has changed a little bit. They've grown up a little bit.
Yeah,
Especially
that's a good thing.
I'd say our audience generally like is a little more thoughtful about games.
Yeah.
Than maybe the GameSpot audience was 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
I saw in Zilla's piece, which was good, and then Rock Paper Shotgun also published a good piece on this policy. They didn't come out and quote traffic numbers for their respective sites, but they definitely heavily implied that like, hey, we're fine publishing reviews after launch. We already do that, and it's not like they traffic worse.
I can corroborate that to a certain degree as well.
Which is like that's incredibly encourering to me, actually, that people are still willing to go out and consume that kind of criticism.
Totally.
Maybe after they've bought the game even.
Yeah, and that's, back in the day, like every data point we had at GameSpot back then was around the idea that like people are looking for coverage of a game when it is out. And that's when you're speaking to this big mainstream audience. You've got like all this marketing is hitting them about this launch date. And when that launch date comes, they go, oh, wait, is this game any good or not?
Yeah.
And then they go look for a review.
And that's like Google side door traffic. They're just typing like Halo 2 review into Google, and then they end up on GameSpot.
Totally. And that's when we did quite well for a lot of years on that exact thing.
Yeah.
Here, like, that's not our game. I don't even think that's GameSpot's game anymore. But like it's a very different, like we have a very different audience. We have a more affluent audience. We have a smarter audience. Or it could be because it is less mainstream, a more clued in audience that is following games and to a certain extent the gaming industry. So they're just a little more clued into that sort of stuff. So, those are the sort of people that would be interested in reading a piece, even if they've already bought and finished a game. Because they might be interested in hearing what someone else's thoughts are on it, or this kind of deep dive, something that is a little more focused on criticism. Yeah. Obviously, you still have the people that are just like trying to hammer home whatever ridiculous idea of objective reviews as a meaningful thing in 2016, which is that ship has sailed. Yeah. That is done. That is gone for a reason.
It's an oxymoron. Doesn't work.
We tried to write those for a lot of years and thought we were. By removing ourselves from the equation as much as possible, but games have changed. Like the audience that consumes them has changed. That's not the way anymore.
They've grown up, like, or they are starting to grow up. Let's say,
sure,
so they are taking their first steps into becoming a respectable medium.
Yeah, and like I think that you could see a future where like the relevance of like a purchasing focused review will dry up over time. I think. Because you've got an audience that is looking for something different. And I think it's at that point, you'll see a shift in games writing. And a lot of people are out there doing this, like Vice is launching a whole site on this idea in a lot of ways of like, hey, we're focused on criticism, the larger conversation about games and where they fit into our lives and all that sort of stuff. We were even, launched as like, we are looking to cover games and the culture around it. Yeah. That was when we kind of went out and talked about what we were doing to partners, advertise, like whatever. That was more or less the pitch. This Giant Bomb is gaming, the culture around it, and this kind of personality people first focus on games. So
Is Vice even doing reviews?
I don't
or
think
scored reviews,
so.
or I haven't heard anything about that.
I don't think they are.
Huh.
I don't actually know. I don't know. I'll ask Just Blaze about it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's an interesting happening that in some ways you could kind of see coming from a mile away, as kind of relations between the traditional press and publishers continued to change and evolve and all that sort of stuff.
At the time, Doom seemed like a victim of circumstance, but once we got past it, and all the review scores came out, and like I gave it a 5 out of 5, and like
great
so
game.
did everybody else practically. Like I totally looked at that and said they are absolutely going to do this again.
Yeah, I don't know that I would base a policy around that specific situation because that's
what I mean.
An
though.
outlier.
Like,
That's not.
It
didn't get good reviews because you didn't send it out early.
Well, that's what I meant earlier about if that's the lesson they were taking from Doom, then that is absolutely not that's not the right lesson.
Yeah.
Like that is a huge outlier.
But that's but this isn't about that. This is about making sure that nothing is in the way of their messaging around launch, and that's I don't think there's any other way to look at this other than that. So
I wonder what's going to happen around you've got your big city game stores that will sell copies like the Wednesday or Thursday before
yes you do
release. Like it's not going to work for every game, especially something that is an online only game or whatever, but something like a Dishonored that's let's say 15 hours long.
Yeah.
Somebody goes and gets that on a Wednesday afternoon and
just starts streaming it. What would happen?
Streaming, so I mean those policies are in place because Twitch will work with publishers, right?
Yeah. What if you owned your own bandwidth and paid someone else for a white label streaming service that was not part of someone else's thing?
Had built your own streaming platform.
Yeah,
that could be useful, I suppose.
Yeah,
but in terms of reviews, obviously, Twitch will pull down streams for games at the publisher's request.
Yes.
But text reviews are just text, they're just out there.
Yeah.
At a certain point,
yeah.
Do you as the publisher just have to make your peace with that?
I guess.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what you do in that situation.
Yeah.
In some cases, that's why the review embargo works to the publishers' end
right.
as well.
I was going to say that earlier because you're right. It is absolutely about giving people a level playing field, but it's also about creating an orchestrated and strategically timed publicity hit.
Yes.
All the reviews, all the videos, everything's coming out right now. It's probably trending on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like the embargo serves that purpose very acutely as well.
Yeah, I guess it does. Yeah. But yeah, that now if basically what this does is it tells every single publication out there, just go rogue, do what you can to cover this game. If you care that much about covering it early, there's always a way.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. I wonder who's next.
Yeah, I don't know. That's I wonder. Yeah, I who knows the amount of shit that has been going around for the past week around this stuff. You wonder if that emboldens other publishers or scares them away from doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. All this stuff has to change on some level. So
yeah,
whatever.
It was always going to be bumpy along the way.
Yeah.
Did you guys see all this madness with the No Man's Sky Twitter accounts?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
On was it Saturday?
Twitter and email.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I forget if it was Friday, Saturday, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I think
Sunday.
No, was it Friday? I feel like I woke up Friday morning and saw it. I feel like I was still in New York.
I definitely caught the aftermath,
Okay.
after everything had kind of sifted and resolved.
I feel like I woke up in New York and saw it Friday morning. Went, all right, man.
Yeah.
Fuck. Wow.
Did you see the original tweet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. It was gone by the time I had gotten clued into this stuff. So the preamble to all this is that Hello Games and also Sean Murray's Twitter account, which is at No Man's Sky on Twitter,
Right.
The Hello Games account less so, but they have both been practically radio silent since the launch of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Hello Games had tweeted some pretty boilerplate patch updates about hey 1.09 is out with bug fixes and stuff, and Sean had not tweeted basically at all in the last 2 months since August, I believe, since late August.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden, the Hello Games Twitter account out of nowhere tweets No Man's Sky was a mistake, which led to a whole lot of weird speculation.
Yeah, people go they're buckling under the pressure. They're this, they're that. Yeah.
As the stuff is going on, and then apparently whoever got into their Twitter account also got into their email.
Yeah, so was it Crescente at Polygon went to check with them and go hey, is this
Right.
legit? And then got a response going, yeah.
Got a 2-paragraph response back about like all the things that went wrong with the game and stuff. It didn't seem to last more than a couple hours before Sean was actually out there on Twitter saying like, "Hey, don't use your same password on LinkedIn and your email,"
Right,
or something like that. But it was the most bizarre reason for them to finally break their silence after like 2 months of not really communicating.
Yeah, and you could probably write a book around No Man's Sky and the stuff that followed in the wake of its release. But like with the stuff that has been like, I think some people have been calling for them to be like more transparent and open and all this other stuff. But like you need to remember that like there have been a lot of death threats and things thrown their way that like any reasonable person would look at and go like, we need to just kind of hide out and do our thing.
Yeah. Like
we'll talk again when we have done what we want to do with the game and gotten a patch out there and can go like, hey, here we go. Here's what we're doing, and talk about it in that context.
Like, I understand the people that bought the game who want to hear more from them about what's going to happen with it, but it's like, at the same time, like, you realize that saying too much is what got them into trouble in the first place. That's what created this entire mess. So you can understand why they would pull back, especially, like, because how long has it been since that Reddit post about the guy who went and staked out their offices?
Exactly.
Like people just showing up to try to look through the windows and see what they're doing.
Yeah.
Serious?
There's stuff like that where you're just like, okay, this is unreasonable now, and any steps they take to secure their own safety up to and including like retracting from social media in a very Kim Kardashian like way, I think makes a lot of sense.
Like I fully understand if you feel like you were, swindled out of $60 and are not happy with the product you bought, but like this response is not healthy in any conceivable way.
Yeah, no, it's but at the same time, like I also get the idea that like, hey, this is a game that needs some work.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like absolutely,
I'm fully with you
would
on
love
that.
to hear more about what they're doing to that game.
I hope to come back to that game at some point. I hope they add enough to it that it's worth going back to.
I feel like the ship has sailed on that.
I mean, that's very possible.
The number of things they would have to add to that game, not even like correct, but the number of new things that would have to be put into that game to make me go like, oh, well, I'm gonna go give this is.
It would be a different game at that point.
Unfathomable for that team with the stuff that they are likely doing right now. It just doesn't seem like likely that would happen anytime soon. So I don't see myself ever going back to that game.
Yeah, maybe so. We'll see. I mean, base building and like freighters and capital ships are the two things that they mentioned.
That stuff sounds neat, but I don't like to what end. Like it becomes that situation again. It's just like, okay, well, why? Like I've already done a bunch of stuff for very little reason, and there are other games out there doing that stuff better that I would probably play instead of this.
Sure. Yeah, it's a very different world now that we've had plenty of time to look at what that game actually is and how it's structured, as opposed to like what the promise made it sound like it would be.
Yeah. Even seeing it pre-release and going like, this seems to be a survival game. Yeah. Like that doesn't tell the whole story, because you could come away from that going like, it sounds like a survival game, and I've had a great time with those in the past.
I was fine with that aspect of it.
I'm still potentially really excited about this game.
Totally.
And then, but it just came in under the bar. So just like in so many different ways, just whether it was weird glitchy stuff or just like whole systems that seem like they should be there that aren't, or like just a lot of stuff about that game. You're just like, this just seems empty.
Yeah, it was the lack of space exploration for me, It was the fact that it just felt like you were like every system you were in just felt like a menu, where you picked a planet and pointed at it and just hit a button, like there felt like very little freedom to actually fly around and discover things, like it was.
And that's the sort of stuff that like during the preview phase of a game, you're never gonna, and seeing a small chunk of it, you're gonna determine some things, but certainly not others.
Like even when I went to LA to see that game like 6 months before it came out, we never got to leave the planet that they had us on at that event, so you just had no idea how that stuff was structured.
Yeah.
And those fundamental design choices are not likely to change.
Yeah.
But we will see. At least they're still there and working on it.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Like at this point, like I don't know that they'll ever be able to put out an update for that game that actually makes people happy.
Maybe not.
Like they will certainly satisfy some people and make some corrections, and I'm sure that they will solve some technical issues that are in people's way and make some changes that will probably matter for people. But I think that they're in so deep of a hole
that grudge is so
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
obviously, if
Yeah.
they're hacking into email accounts and you know,
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
just glimpse at the subreddit,
Yeah,
and every time I've looked at it, it's just like, oh my god, these people are angry.
like
It is
still
wild.
And like infighting and stuff within the subreddit,
Yeah.
and almost. But
that's-
no one seems to like the game.
that just
you know?
sounds like Reddit. I mean, at some point you're just like describing.
Oh yeah,
I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
it's
The
yes,
internet.
it's a microcosm of forum drama.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a shame that that game was not better because it seemed like it had a lot of potential, and I ended up playing more of it than I thought I would.
Yeah.
I guess, but man,
I appreciate the angle that Alex took with the review of like, hey, this is a fun thing to wander around in with a
Yeah.
lot of cool stuff to look at, and like,
Sure,
it's a good way
yeah.
to fill time. You know, like even when I was playing it before I decided to put it down until stuff gets added, like. If you got 30 minutes and you don't have any other pressing games you want to play at the time, you know, it's a nice way to just hop in and like kind of screw around and fill your time. You know?
yeah, I guess I just feel like that there are better screw around fill time type games out there that I would go to first. But sure, yep.
Swery has officially left the building
man.
of Access Games.
Yeah,
Wait, yeah,
this
is that good?
ideally when he gets his health in check and it sounds like he's on track. Like this to me sets the stage for Swery's next act.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
okay,
you know?
sure, all right.
Like
He doesn't necessarily need access to make video games.
No, absolutely not. If
Yeah.
anything, this is Swery on the loose, man.
Right.
This is fucking full bore Swery
Yeah.
staring at you, double fucking barrel, man.
I like that. Is he going to have just as much
But
like
that's
creative
the
freedom
thing.
wherever he goes?
I think that if you're going into business with Swery, you're doing it specifically
Yeah.
to give him that creative.
You know,
freedom.
So
you
he
know
gets his-
exactly what you're getting.
So he gets his Death Stranding, basically.
Oh man,
One would hope.
Oh, that
Yeah.
would be so great.
So who knows? Like you would hope that another developer would be willing to go into business with Swery
Oh, yeah.
and make and see to it that his next game is made.
Yeah.
And who knows what the budget is, whether it be stronger or bigger or less than what Access would have been able to deliver. You know, this means bad things for D4, I assume.
Oh,
yeah.
I have to
But
imagine
that
that.
was not going to happen
Yeah.
anyway. Like, let's be reasonable here. This to me is like I want that dude to get together,
Yeah.
get better.
get over his health
Yep.
issues, get better.
Yeah, so he
And-
had-
It sounds like he's on an upswing.
Yeah, I
too.
think it
That's
sounds
what
like
I
he's
mentioned.
recovering. He had been on
Yeah.
medical leave for a year from Access, but now he's officially out.
So my question is that tattoo real?
That
right.
Oh yeah.
That Men in Development calendar.
it feels
Oh my
like the
God.
majority of people are assuming it's real. So I
Of
want
course
to
you would
believe
assume that. Of
I
course
want
you
to
would assume
believe
that.
it's
I
real.
want to believe it's real. I'm sure it's not.
Was that
But I
was
want to
that
believe.
was that for the Men of Game Dev calendar?
Yes.
Is that where that came
Yes.
from?
That is that will be the mouse pad bonus.
I
for
might
that thing this
actually
year.
like apologies to Dave Lang, but that might be the first mouse pad from that series that I actually get.
It is the second mouse pad they've done, if I remember correctly. But yes,
I really want one of those. And if you have any like Dave Lang ones laying around, I'll take one of those too. I missed out on those.
I got mine. It's
yeah.
it's a constant
Well
reminder
worn.
of the horrors.
Yeah.
It needs bumps.
Could you even do a fake tattoo of that magnitude
Sure, you
and make
could.
it look
Why not?
real?
Photoshop
It looks
thing.
really good.
It
though.
looks
Yeah.
really believable. Like holy crap.
Oh, you could. That's henna. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did we talk about when Swery became like officially, I don't know if ordained is the right term, as a Buddhist monk? Like 2 months ago?
We mentioned that.
We
at
mentioned
some
that.
I
point.
don't know if we
Yeah.
mentioned it, but
Yeah,
so,
he's kind of been on a spiritual journey as he recovers from his health issues.
Good for him.
So who knows what his plans are?
Yeah, I would like to see Swery take another crack at it,
Yeah.
and make something new.
Yep, for sure.
D4 didn't really do it for me.
Yeah.
And,
It was pretty cool though.
Definitely support that guy doing what he does, though.
Mhm.
Two more quick things. Turtle Rock is no longer working on Evolve, but apparently that doesn't mean that Evolve is done. I guess 2K is still going to continue to support it.
Yeah. I don't know what any of that means. Like, it's hard to,
Yeah.
like, okay, so.
They need someone to accept the payments for the free-to-play stuff, right?
Yeah.
You still playing, Jeff?
Oh, every day.
Yeah,
No,
okay,
stage
cool.
2.
All right,
no, yeah. I did download Evolve Stage 2 and tried it once and went like, God, this is
It's Evolve?
Still Evolve.
Okay.
But, you know, since I had owned the retail version of Evolve, then all of that content became unlocked immediately. So it was really just kind of a different way to access that content in a free-to-play sense, as opposed to a remake of the game. You know, they did rebalance and do some changes and stuff like that. But, you know, like if you follow the player numbers for Evolve, since it did go free-to-play, it spiked after they made the change, like numbers were up, and you were like, "Oh, this seems like a good thing." I'm sure at some point 2K was like, "Oh, fuck, man, we're turning this around. This is going to work out." But those numbers didn't stick around.
And they were just selling skins, right?
Yeah, and I think characters.
They were selling
as well,
characters.
yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, so if those players don't stick around and monetize at some point, then at some point you've removed whatever retail sales you've got left, obviously, which was obviously close to zero, and then you've created this thing that no one is interested in paying money for anyway, and so it just seems like it just kind of faded away. So I don't know. Like you say that 2K or some other division somewhere is going to take on the mantle of Evolve Stage 2, but I suspect that means keep the servers up.
Yeah. So the statement from 2K says that support for Evolve's PC servers will continue, quote, for the foreseeable future.
Right.
Support for the servers. So that means the game will continue to function. They also say that they will continue to evaluate the possibility of bringing the free-to-play experience to consoles in the future. But right now, our focus is on bringing in new players and maintaining the game's audience on PC.
Well, I mean, maybe that's a marketing effort more than a development effort at this point. And
it sounds like they're just,
like keeping Turtle Rock under some kind of contract to maintain this game that is not quite catching on is probably more money than they want to spend.
Totally.
So,
And surprisingly, one of Turtle Rock's community managers posted, 2K ended our contract. We wanted to continue working on the project, which doesn't seem like something you say in public necessarily, but
Right.
so they were not necessarily ready to be done with Evolve, but now they are. I wonder how this factors into the persistent rumors about Battleborn
right.
going free to play.
I have to imagine that this move would have been encouraging. Like when Evolve was going well, you would probably look at it and go like, "Oh, well, this is probably what we want to do with Battleborn." And then you had Randy Pitchford out there saying like, "This has never been the case. It's more of a free, like kind of saying that's not true while also saying it's not true in the way you think it is, but it's still technically happening." Of some kind of like free demo that you can convert into a full version of the game, or who knows how they end up monetizing Battleborn long term, if at all. But yeah, as soon as Evolve started to kind of drop again, you have to wonder if that took the wind out of any sales about like turning Battleborn around.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't know. We shall see. Lastly, this is probably mostly for Jeff, but anybody's welcome to comment. You have any thoughts on this Windows 10 built-in beam streaming that they've announced?
Right, the creators update or whatever it is. Yeah,
I think it's super cool.
You guys, you guys seem to be kind of tentatively fans of Beam.
Beam Team,
from what I can tell.
Yeah, we got transcoding.
Like we've started, like we
earned
unlocked
Sparks.
We unlocked the ability to transcode on our Beam channel.
I had to watch some streams.
They gamified. They gamified streaming.
Wait, did you just like leave some streams running until you gained enough XP?
We got a good head start, and then once we actually streamed,
like we ran our PlayStation VR streams on Beam, and that got us.
Oh, is it also view contingent?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's definitely some neat stuff going on that. But the thing that I'm like really impressed with is just like how well integrated like streaming stuff is just to the general consumer. Like, it's built into Steam stuff. It's being built into an operating system. That's pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
And obviously that's going to integrate well with like webcams and microphones and stuff. And
it's weird that like I look at it and go like I almost have too many streaming solutions and recording solutions installed on that PC between that fucking god awful GeForce Experience app that will do it. What else?
We've got, OBS. We've got
I've got OBS installed. Like Windows will have it built in, but Windows already has the DVR functionality built into like the game bar and all that sort of stuff for clip sharing and all that sort of stuff. Shadowplay is the NVIDIA.
Yep.
one.
God, yeah, it doesn't feel like that long since you were like, should I pay for an XSplit license? Like, maybe I should, because XSplit seems good, and now it's like, who needs XSplit?
XSplit does seem good.
Oh, I'm sure it's fine.
Well supported, but like I think OBS is...
Like, OBS is for the price.
With
like,
one
amazingly.
specific exception, OBS does everything I want it to do.
I love the shit out of XSplit, but there's a lot of good solutions out there.
Yeah, sure. XSplit is XSplit is expensive by comparison.
It is. Yeah, totally. It's resource hog.
Also,
times.
yes.
But if you get the system. Chris, I was at Toys R Us this weekend, and the Tube Heroes, they made like action figures. They've got like podcasting sets, like game streaming stuff, where they sell you like a webcam and a microphone. Like,
wait, functional stuff, or is it like fake, not fake little kid toy
stuff, like
webcam?
USB, like plug it in.
That's where we got this table.
Yeah, that's true. Toys R Us. Yeah. a friend of mine, his daughter, she's 6 or 7. She records herself doing live plays.
Oh, yeah.
Or like let's plays and stuff.
I've totally heard
That's
stories from parents about like, even if there's no actual recording taking place, like their kid will sit there and narrate.
playing
Kids are
Let's
commenting,
Plays.
Narrate what
That
they're
is
doing.
so unhealthy. Like, we are professional narcissists. Kids, watch out.
Like we're egomaniacs for a reason. They pay us to do this. Like don't. Yeah.
But man, if I had some of this tech 5 years ago, Jesus Christ, I don't know if I'd be where I am, because I started off like, trying to Frankenstein stuff together in order to do this. Now you can just buy it at Toys R Us. Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
Turnkey solutions.
Yeah.
Will the stuff at Toys R Us do 1080p 60?
I don't know.
We should find out.
Yeah,
we should fucking find out.
Probably
I'm gonna
get
buy
on
some
that.
now.
What kind of bit rate are we talking about here?
I
like,
mean, yeah.
when they got the 4K stuff? Because we're gonna fucking need that.
We're gonna
any day now, right now.
actually, yeah.
Yeah, fuck. I don't know. Yeah, maybe that stuff is a little unhealthy if kids are
I think it's
commentating
awesome.
there, but
Yeah,
at
I
the same
think it's
time,
awesome.
like, I don't know. Hopefully, it's harmless.
They're emulating, like their heroes on YouTube. That's it's fucking mind blowing.
It's like RoboCop spinning his gun to impress his kid. If you really want to break it down, it's
pretty impressive.
Yeah,
That's fair. It sounds like this built-in Windows stuff is only going to go to Beam though. So like, I wonder
because they own Beam.
I know
they bought Beam.
Microsoft bought
Pro.
Beam, which they've already started integrating into the Xbox, or it's on the way. I believe
It is on the way, if not there already.
Yeah.
I took an update relatively recently on the preview program.
Like Beam seems great. I see people saying great things about it all the time. Like it seems like a well-liked thing.
quality service.
But I wonder
But
what
once it gets
what
like
is-
Twitch level,
Once you
what
dump
is
every
server
Windows
load?
10
Well,
in person,
yeah, I mean-
or who knows what percentage of people will ever use it.
I mean,
but-
hopefully they've got that stuff under control. But like, I just wonder what's their business play here when like Twitch already rules the world, and if they don't, then YouTube is right behind them. Like, like how do you grow another streaming service in a world where like 3 other ones already exist and are gigantic?
If Microsoft is owning this one, and there's a lot of different potential, like it makes sense for them to own and integrate a video streaming solution, because so many things have headed in this direction, whether it's for gaming or not. The technology
you still
is
have to
good.
you still have to convince people to go to a different site than the one they're used to watch this stuff. Though,
Yeah,
unless-
but if it's like a one-click solution out of Windows 10, then maybe that starts to get a little easier. But again, there's no shortage of extremely easy to set up streaming things that will go to Twitch. And one would hope that eventually, actually, the Windows stuff would be a little more platform agnostic, and they would just integrate Twitch and YouTube and all this other stuff as well. Yeah, much like they have on the Xbox. So I don't know what the end game is there for that stuff.
Yeah.
To get bought by someone like Microsoft.
Sure. Yeah. Well. Oh yeah. For Beam. Yeah. Sure. But they made as far as I can tell, they made a great product.
From what I can tell, in our limited experience with it.
But at the same time, like, that's the thing, is like, does Beam hold up? Because Twitch used to be an amazing product as well. And then the whole world started using it and keeping up with that type of demand. Then suddenly you're like, okay, we need to actually add a little more latency to these streams, because it's fucking expensive to fucking serve this stuff up.
and then they start cutting down on archives and stuff like that. Like,
so
Alexis.
right? God.
Thanks.
Like when the business realities of scale impact Beam, does it become a victim of its own success the way a lot of other services are?
Sure.
Or have been.
Like Hitbox.
Sure.
Vape TV.
Oh, Hitbox. Oh, Vape TV. Well, they got Microsoft money behind them now. So.
Yeah, I mean, Microsoft has infrastructure for fucking days, so one would hope it would be fine.
If anybody can handle that stuff, they can.
Beam's a neat site.
Yeah, the speed from which you guys went from like ironic fans of Beam to actual genuine fans of Beam was like almost instantaneous.
Yeah.
Like you seemed like you were joking around about streaming the Beam for a minute.
Yeah, because there are so many other services out there.
But then you start doing it, and everybody was like, "Wait a minute, this thing's kind of awesome."
Yeah, video quality seems better, and the gamified stuff is corny, but like also kind of rad.
Yeah. Corny but rad is like that's
the best case solution.
That's my brand.
I like to think that we have on occasion struck that balance.
Like that's totally, and that's like that old 360 shit of like the hero protagonists of the world and stuff. It's like it's stupid but kind of in an awesome way.
Yeah. Sparks.
Yep.
Or them Sparks.
Yep. Get them.
I tried Sparks once at that GDC podcast we did.
You didn't like it?
That was
it's like Flintstone vitamins.
Not a fan.
Hey, those taste good.
Looks like a battery.
I used to be into them.
Okay. Gives you energy.
It does. Gives you a lot of things.
Yep. All right, we have to take one last break before we read emails. We will be right back.
Okay.
Sometimes we all need a little billboard on the side of the information superhighway. Am I right?
I like some signage.
Yes, a little signage in cyberspace.
Get your brand out there.
Yes,
Display your logo.
get it out there with a website. But who's got time to learn how to actually code websites from scratch? That's crazy. No one does that anymore.
I've been working on it since the late 90s.
Exactly.
I almost got my tags blinking.
Forget it. Uninstall that copy of Hot Dog Pro right now and check out Squarespace.
Is that like Hot Dog Pro?
It's better. It's a simple, intuitive process that you can use to add and arrange your content and features with the click of a mouse. You have a mouse, right?
Yeah, I've mostly just been using the keyboard so far.
Okay, well,
Maybe that's why it's taking so long.
that's probably why it's taking so long. You can just use a mouse. And you can get a free custom domain if you sign up for a year of Squarespace service. And they've got beautiful templates, a best-in-class online store full of these award-winning templates with customizable settings and more. They've got some seamless commerce tools over at Squarespace, too. So if you're looking to sell some stuff, like some JPEGs, I don't know what you're selling. I don't want to know what you're selling. Squarespace is for you.
I mostly traffic in pings.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, it's a good format. It's quality format.
I like to keep it lossless.
Yeah, if you're having trouble getting all this stuff, getting your mind wrapped around these intuitive tools, Squarespace does have 24/7 customer support. That's right. Every member of the team is an experienced Squarespace user working in a Squarespace office.
Just like pick up the phone and talk to another human being?
No, you can get on the internet. Even better,
okay.
Use the internet to get help with the internet. That's how this works.
Get on the cyber internet.
Get on the cyber highway to your dreams of having your own website. Start your free trial today over at squarespace.com and enter offer code BOMBCAST to get 10% off your first purchase. That's 10% off your first purchase. Offer code BOMBCAST, squarespace.com.
All right, one last story that I probably should have just bolted onto that Switch stuff.
Okay.
The Wii U is done.
No.
They're not making it anymore.
No.
Get it while you can.
I don't even have mine hooked up anymore.
No?
God damn.
Already?
I've got my PS3 and 360 hooked up still.
Wow.
But
Really?
not my Wii U.
Man.
Mine is still connected to power and stuff like that, but it's not connected to a television.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, I mean,
That's cool.
Mario. All I'm going to ever play on it ever is Mario Maker, so it's fine.
No reason that it has to be.
Yeah.
Why'd they kill it?
Well, they're just not making it anymore.
Why
I mean,
not?
that's it.
That's it.
That's what reports are
Done.
saying.
Well,
I don't
yeah,
know that
okay.
it's
Yes.
necessarily
Eurogamer has come out with this report that Friday is the day that the final Wii U will be built. Ever.
The same week that the
Until
Waluigi amiibo comes out?
until the Wii U. They had to choose. It was one or the
Yeah,
other.
they've only got so much
Yeah.
manufacturing capacity.
All right, that's fair.
They do have to pick.
They're going to need all those lines for Waluigi's.
That's true.
They've got a bunch
bunch
of
plastic.
They've got some numbers broken down here about the predicted shipments. You know how many will be in last shipment and stuff. But that's it. If
Yeah.
you want a brand new Wii U, you should probably go get one sooner than later.
Do you think they'll bundle the shit out of that?
I don't know.
No,
They tend to
I
do
think
that
that
at
they'll
end of
make
life.
them and it'll be kind of like it is what it is.
Really?
Like, you know,
They'll
they're
sit-
still selling Wii U's, right?
Yeah.
They've probably been producing Wii U's to that number
Okay.
for some time now.
Yeah,
to try to.
I guess they have a good idea of how many they're likely to sell, right?
Yeah,
So
or
they're
how long, like, hey, we've got this many in the warehouse. We've got this many Wii U games planned.
Yeah.
It's 0. It's one. Sorry, 1, 2. I don't know. Not many.
I'm still feeling like I'll probably play Zelda on the Wii U.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not huge on rushing out and buying new consoles. You've talked
Yeah.
numerous times
I
about
guess
how
it's
disappointing it is.
pretty much always.
Brad
Yeah.
is the not new console on day one guy.
I
think,
am
so.
always the day one guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got burned by shoddy PlayStations too many times, more than anything. I always like to wait a month or two and see if there's any problems with the launch model before.
I still have my 60 gig backwards compatible PS3.
I've got mine too.
Launch
It just doesn't
PS3.
work.
I've got mine too, and it works, but the fan in it is so loud, I don't ever want to turn it
Oh,
on.
okay.
Again.
Yeah.
It's shitty. But
I bought a Wii U on a whim. I woke
Like
up
that day, right?
Yeah,
I remember
like
we
we
did
were
that
going to do
live
our live
stream.
stream, and then like I woke up at like 6. Like I wasn't going to do it. I was going back and forth like, oh, maybe I should just go see if I could get one. Oh, probably not though. It's probably going to be a hassle.
But once you see it right in front of you,
And then I woke up at 6 and went, fuck it, I'm going to drive to the Target. And then drove to the Target in Roanoke
they had
Park,
them.
and there were like 5 people. Actually, I went to the Walmart first, and they were like, no, we got 2 of them. We sold them already. And I was like, well, shit, I'll go by the Target. And there were like 6 people there, and they had like more than that So
it wasn't even your choice. Like
there were people that were there all night, and I
had
was
to,
like,
of course.
dude, I can roll up here and get one
Yeah.
waiting 10 minutes. Like, of course I'm going to do that.
I mean, don't
Couldn't
forget
wait for
he's
Nintendo Land.
he's also the guy who went and bought the 3rd generation 360 when that came out. Like,
I bought that because we did a video with
yeah,
that,
we
I
did.
think.
That's fair. But some people just can't.
That's
know.
a poor justification for what I did, but
It was a nice looking console.
the S, the black one.
the E.
It was the E. It was the one after the S.
Right.
It was
It was a little more like an Xbox One in its shape.
It was pretty not very highly publicized. That they made that
I
thing.
can't even picture it.
Do you have the little red Wii?
No, we have a red Wii around here
I do.
somewhere.
Yeah. Still on my
Oh, that
desk.
thing is
Yeah.
terrible though.
That
That's
Canadian,
a Canadian
Wii.
thing. Yeah.
That thing is awful.
It looks so hot.
It doesn't even have it's fucking composite video out, right?
So
It's like the best it has. What the fuck is that?
component, right?
No, it only-
no. I know what I'm talking about. It is literally composite video out. It does not have like. It definitely didn't have HDMI, and I don't think it had any kind of component capability.
why it looks great on a desk.
It was a super budget model. It was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
made. It was like what was it, like $60 or something?
Even so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought my dad component cables for his Wii because he played Mario Kart and Resident Evil 4 so much.
it's too
And
many cables.
no, it's not even that. It's stupider. He refused to let me hook it up because he thought his cable bill would go up.
Yeah. Well,
good
it's more
stuff.
cables.
That's
That
good stuff.
I guess there's more cables.
Yeah, there's more
I
cables
mean,
involved.
Yeah,
That
that's
means
true,
more.
I guess.
Yep.
makes sense.
Yeah, some people just can't know there's a new console out there without going out and buying it.
That's me.
Gotta have it.
That's me.
I like to wait and see a little bit more.
I didn't mean to get it an Xbox 360S. It just happened.
Yeah.
They had it in
You
stock.
mean the E?
No, I'm sorry, the Xbox One S.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like that was
Yeah.
a case of like,
still
the
want one of those,
the Target in my town has one, and it's a perfect storm, and by perfect storm, my bar is pretty low, of stories about a thing being hard to find, matched with me seeing that it is in stock
Yeah.
close by,
That's
and
fair.
I could have one with zero effort.
That's fair.
I almost bought a PlayStation VR
I keep
because
thinking about
because they were everywhere.
Yeah.
and you can still find them. I think.
Have you seen the shit that's going on with the bundles and stuff? Like the stuff
Yeah.
GameStop is doing? Like
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
still selling $500 bundles now, but not the Sony bundle.
Right, because
Like
the Sony bundle sold out. It was the
Yeah,
standalone
yeah.
stuff that.
So they have
was
now.
very easy to find.
So I got a press release from GameStop that they have ginned up their own bundle, which is the headset, a used camera,
Okay.
used move controllers, and like a $10 game for the same price as those Sony bundles.
Yeah.
Which were all brand new stuff and
Right.
a $40 game. Like
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
like, come on.
I think that's where I do have the willpower is because I didn't buy any of the VR headsets. Although I bought Move and Connect on day one.
Yeah.
But VR was just
Yeah,
too...
yeah. We're about to ship one of these PSVRs out to New York tomorrow, and like even up through last night using that thing, like Job Simulator, the tracking is fucking awful for me. Was it bad for you?
Yeah, totally.
Like,
Like I almost
just-
fell over playing that
Yeah.
game because I almost put my hand through a window because where it thought was center
Yeah.
had moved so far in
Yeah.
my room over the course of me playing it that I almost punched out my fucking window.
Yeah. The where the order comes up on the cook mini game in Job Simulator.
Yeah.
Couldn't reach up and spin that wheel because the hand tracking would like it would lose the hand before I could reach that far up.
Totally.
What do you think the odds are that this time next year we're going to be saying on these podcasts, like, hey, remember PlayStation VR? Like, man, nothing came out.
I don't know.
They
Well,
never did anything with that thing.
Well, it's definitely
in a
not.
year.
It's definitely not nothing coming out because.
Well, I guess stuff is still coming.
we're still in the launch window. I guess games that are coming out now we're still pre-launch.
Yeah. I think it is sold well, but the Kinect sold very well
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And you could tell within a year with Kinect that it was not working. So I wonder if we're going to be thinking that in a year.
And I would have thought that there would have been, from just hearing about some stuff and these issues with like rest mode and some of the stuff, that this stuff would have been better by now.
Yeah.
The idea that it is like some slow boat update that hasn't happened yet and not like a 4-alarm fire. Maybe it is and it just takes time to fix, but I don't know enough about it. But like the idea that this is still in that state after this much time has passed is preposterous.
I just don't hear anyone talking about it. Like I follow almost exclusively video game people on Twitter.
I
and
do.
no one
I hear
ever
some
talks
positive
about
Like
it.
launch weekend, I saw a ton of people.
Yeah.
having a good time.
Right
with
when
it.
it launched,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
But since then,
And I'm jealous
no
of those
one.
people. I'm jealous of the people who say they've had no issues because, like, even to this day, I move the coffee table, I measure the distance, like I do everything I can to make that thing work right. And sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
And that's just too unreliable for me to plunk 400 plump. do something to $400 with.
I think the future of VR is still bright, and that tech will
Yeah,
iterate,
totally,
and the
totally.
tech is already pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But saying that, I have not hooked my Rift up to my new PC yet, or gone through that process of installing those games again.
You have a Vive, right?
No, I don't.
No, you don't have a Vive.
No.
Okay.
I would like to get one.
Yeah.
That was the thought, is like, oh, well, if I get long enough cables that I could do the Vive in my living room where I have a big enough space without having to move the PC out there, I would consider doing that.
Do you need one now that like once Oculus Touch stuff is out? Can you can basically replicate the entire Vive experience?
That's up to
right?
developers.
Okay.
How many developers are going to go support Oculus in a room scale setup?
Okay.
All this other stuff
Yeah.
that like is probably not the primary way people will use a Rift day one.
Yeah.
Like how many people are going to support the Oculus Rift room scale solution?
That's
their
fair.
Vive
That's
games?
fair. I guess that weird emulation stuff is not necessarily going to cut it,
no,
right?
no. So and the emulation stuff goes the other way. It's
Oh,
for
right.
playing Oculus games on a Vive.
Oh. Okay. So if a game doesn't have Oculus support listed on the Steam store, there's not really a way to make it work.
I don't believe so.
I didn't realize that.
But I have not spent a lot of time with that sort of stuff, so I can't say for sure.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
And the work it may be trivial. I don't know that either. So it may be the case of like, oh, actually getting your Vive game to work with room scale Oculus stuff is 5 minutes of work or 10 minutes of work. Like I don't know. Maybe it's super easy.
Yeah.
And this won't be an issue. But until that stuff actually ships, and like I have not pre-ordered Oculus Touch controllers for myself. I would like to own a set of them at some point, but it's not top of my list right now.
It's kind of frustrating. I mean, it's not surprising that we're in this world where you kind of need to own 3 headsets to get all the good stuff.
Yeah,
it's
it's weird. That aspect of it is certainly the like lockdown software publishing deals that Oculus has been doing and stuff like that to try to grow their end of things, while the Vive stuff has been more open and weird and all this other stuff, and the PlayStation VR, that stuff's a mess.
Yeah,
and the whole VR end of the industry, I think, is a mess. We'll see how it all shakes out.
Yep.
But I think that stuff's really fucking incredible when it works.
Yeah, totally. Even on the PSVR.
Sure.
That's just not nearly always.
Yeah.
All right, let's move into the emails. We got a few minutes left here. We will read a handful of the electronic communications that came into giantbomb.com. The first one comes in from Mike in Yeovil in the UK. I'm guessing is how you say that. In response to Dan saying the N64 is the toughest console, I can say without hesitation it was not.
I didn't think so, yeah.
When I worked for Game in the UK, at one point we had to sadly destroy older trade-in consoles on company say-so. While I could rescue some, I could not save them all, and so the poor souls left mostly not working had to be literally smashed.
Yep.
This involved,
that sounds super fun.
It is.
Yeah.
I used to work at a Funkoland, and it's super fun.
This involved brick walls and much force and some hammer action. In ascending order of sturdiness, Game Boy Advance, Dreamcast,
Wow.
Mega Drive,
Dreamcast?
Really?
N64, PS2 Fat, which surprises me, Xbox, original Xbox, and then GameCube.
GameCube's the sturdiest?
Yeah. The GameCube's construction and general solidity meant that they absorbed the impacts miles better than the consoles with more design flourishes.
Totally.
Also, the Xboxes did make a hole in a wall due to them being the weight of a dwarf star.
Yeah.
They really are. I've attached a GameCube to like made a morning star out of it essentially.
Wow.
Yeah, those things are fucking tanks.
Built
I
like a
guess
tank.
I assumed that having a laser, like an optical drive, would make it
Well,
easier
it's-
to break.
You know, I don't think anyone's saying like, how much beating can it take and the console
Oh, and
still
then-
works. It's
Yeah.
more about just like at
That-
what
no,
point
that's
does
what
it
I'm
smash
talking about.
apart.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like 64s, no matter how old, always seem to work when I
No,
turn one on.
I don't think this is what this guy's
Oh, he's
talking
just talking about
He's
straight up
talking
taking a hammer
like,
to it.
What breaks apart the
Okay.
easiest.
Yeah, what else would you be talking about?
I don't know.
That's stupid.
I'm sorry.
Destructive power is what we're talking
Okay.
about. Okay.
Whoa.
Is that a tornado?
That doesn't
Yes.
sound good at all.
Sounds like someone flushing a toilet.
Yeah, somebody taking a shower upstairs.
Into the room?
What's happening? Should we get out of here?
I think it's probably okay.
Maybe construction has resumed.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
I thought I saw a drip of water for a second.
No.
Don't say that.
Probably didn't.
This weekend, I heard a noise in my kitchen and then walked in and saw it raining from my lights.
Nice.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Is it blood?
No, it was just water. Pipe burst above me.
Oof.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's not
That was
good.
fun.
Okay, that's annoying.
Well, I guess we'll continue.
Sure.
As if nothing is happening.
Yeah, keep going.
This email comes in from Houston from Maryland,
Wait,
which is pretty awesome.
Whoa.
okay.
Yeah. Super crucial question regarding your teeth brushing routine.
Ah.
My wife recently discovered that I have always brushed my teeth with toothpaste, of course, and hot water. She says
What?
I am a disgusting
No.
savage and
Yeah.
says everyone, of course, uses cold water to
Yep.
brush and rinse with.
Yes.
I've always been of the mind to burn
Hot
those
water.
germs right out of
Yeah,
my
I
head,
guess I
so
can
who
see
is
that.
right?
In the cold.
Yeah, it's fucking hot water. That's disgusting.
And the order is floss, brush, mouthwash.
Yeah. Yes.
You floss, that opens up the area between the gums there,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that lets the fluoride get in there.
Brush gets rid
I
of
do
it.
mouthwash before and after.
That's okay.
That's
Loosen up
correct.
all the stuff,
Double up, yeah.
brush up, and
That's
then
good.
protect afterwards.
I'm going to say it. I don't know why everyone is so concerned about water with brushing your teeth.
What do you mean? Do you
I
not use? Oh, gross.
Never use
Oh,
What?
damn it.
water.
You should go in dry, huh?
That's
Yeah.
so.
Ew.
Yeah, 'cause
Now we
it's
know.
Gummy
Even
and
afterward?
weird.
All
and-
right, so but even if that makes me weird,
yeah.
I
It
don't
does.
okay, but I don't understand the intensity with which people suggest that you do need water absolutely. Like I think
mix
if
it
you
around
were
and-
if you were like part of like if you were head of the army, you would make sure that your troops on the front lines had water to brush their teeth. I think that is what most people consider to be like that's how valuable people consider water with toothbrushing
I think
to be.
just every time I have absentmindedly forgot to get the toothbrush wet before brushing my
yeah,
teeth,
I hate that.
which happens.
It's a terrible
It feels bad. Everything about it feels like it is bad and that it is not doing its job.
But hang on, even worse, are you saying you don't use water to rinse your mouth out at the end?
I don't do
No,
that
I-
anymore. I stopped
What?
doing that.
Yeah, I
That's
don't-
not
I
as
don't do
bad
that.
as.
Ugh.
What? Yeah, I
Dude,
stopped.
what?
I used to, full glass water, switched around, spit it out.
No. Yeah.
But then I found that you just spit and you get most of it out, and it's not like it lingers or anything.
Dude, like-
I stopped this a few years ago,
Same
and
here.
yeah.
Toothpaste is bad if you're not supposed to swallow toothpaste.
Well,
I'm not
you don't
swallowing
really
toothpaste. I
swallow.
spit
Yeah,
the
not to
toothpaste
really
out.
swallow.
Some of it stays in your mouth.
No,
it's
it
going
doesn't.
it's going to end up down there.
You can get it pretty much all
You are
out.
swallowing toothpaste.
No, I'm not.
A little bit.
No.
You were
And
crazy.
I'm fine.
Yeah,
I do the same.
yeah, I don't wash my mouth out. I wash my toothbrush.
Hey, okay,
make sure
let me-
it's
Yeah,
clean.
yeah.
here's a better question.
Sure.
What is gained by not rinsing your mouth out? What
Time.
how is it benefiting you
I
to
guess
not
it's a
rinse?
time thing.
Yeah, you gotta like reach your head down there and
Just use your hand.
Yeah, you
Just
get
cup
a
your
little
hand.
Dixie-
Dixie cups.
then you're wasting Dixie cups.
But you use mouthwash after you do the
Yeah.
toothpaste.
Yeah,
Thing,
yeah.
right? So
well,
would,
that
I would- I
helps.
would keep a
Yeah.
glass
I didn't
in the
always.
bathroom. I would keep a glass in the bathroom and just use that
That's
over and over
unsanitary.
again. But I'm the only
Yeah.
one using it, so it's fine.
But then you get toothpaste like remnants like on the lip of it because ostensibly
Yeah.
you're gonna have
Yeah. But
you're gonna
like,
have that.
that's
ring of
okay.
tooth-
I can use
that's
that thing
gross.
I can let that thing sit there for, I don't know, a month, 2 months, whatever. And
It
then,
gets
and
pretty
then go
gross.
wash it and replace it with a different one, or, like throw it in the dishwasher, it comes back fine. But I don't currently have a cup in the bathroom. I've been using my hands lately.
To like
Cupping.
funnel it
That's what I
into
always
your
do.
mouth.
Just,
Yeah,
just
kind of
kind of
like a
cup
little-
your hands and
Really?
One of these
Yeah.
jobs, yeah.
Seems terribly inefficient.
no.
No, it's
fine.
just boom, boom.
I can
It's done.
hold more water in my two hands than I can fit in my mouth, so that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So when does the mouthwash happen? After water or before water?
It depends. I usually use mouthwash in the shower, so I don't have to worry about where I
What?
spit
Yeah.
it.
Jesus Christ.
That's
Weird.
cool.
Yeah.
But wait, is shower before or after toothbrush?
This is all after flossing and toothbrush.
Okay.
Mouthwash definitely is the third of the three.
Showers after poop. That's for sure. That one, you
That's a
got to do
whole-
that.
Well, right.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but that's
General bathroom
stay on
order
top- let's
stuff.
stay on top
Yeah,
of
okay,
it.
all right.
one thing at a time.
I think I'm gonna start brushing in the shower.
That's part of the reason I do mouthwash in the
Huh.
shower.
I
is
suspect
that
that's how someone might end up coming around on this warm water
Yeah.
toothbrush thing.
Oh,
I
yeah.
frequently brush my teeth while I'm in the shower, which is probably a huge waste of water, but
I shave in the shower. I
yes,
started doing
definitely
that.
do that.
That helps.
Got a little mirror in there.
Yep, me too.
It's nice.
Do you fill it with water so it doesn't fog up? You get one of the
yeah.
mirrors that you've put the temperature of the shower into there,
Yeah.
and so that way it's the same thing and it doesn't fog up.
Sometimes
You can sit there
I'll
and
like
shave.
kind of like rub a little bit of soap on there to make it extra
Okay.
clear. So the
Yeah.
Spit
Yeah.
on it like a scuba mask.
that could work as well.
It does.
I don't use a razor. I have a little. I just need to keep my neck from
Yeah.
being less neck beardy.
That's
so
what I do with a razor.
every week or so, I have a little electric thing that I just buzz down with.
I bought electric
Same here.
things a million times just for that, and they never seem to like get down to the skin. So I always had to razor
It is
my
not, yeah,
neck.
I mean, it's
It's
not the
not meant
closest
to,
shave of
yeah.
my life or anything like that, but it's just going to grow back, so I don't care.
I have to shave now because my beard is mostly white. It makes me look a million years old.
It's fucking awesome.
Distinguished.
No, it sucks. I hate it.
I'm starting to
can't-
get some
I-
on the
I
side.
used to have like this dark red beard and it was awesome and fuck.
I've been waiting for that because they always say your hair comes from your maternal grandfather. And my grandpa, he had just like shock white hair
Yeah.
from like the mid 30s. And I'm just waiting. Like I'll occasionally see a gray hair. And I'm like, yeah, it's happening. Sweet.
Wait,
Steve
are you
Martin.
really?
Yeah, I super want it to happen.
I am going very gray and I'm not a huge fan.
I want to go like full on
Yeah.
just white hair.
I think
Steve
there's
Martin
something
style.
about like young, too young for gray hair guys with full on gray hair that's just a fucking cool look.
Yeah.
It's like anime or something.
Anderson,
It's fucking
Anderson
badass.
Cooper does it really well.
Yeah, yeah.
But not everybody. I don't know.
I'm hoping for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully soon.
Just think, Brad, you could grow that beard and then become like a systems administrator.
That's true.
Yeah.
Wear like a turtleneck or something.
Mhm.
I don't know how this is totally unintentional that I put 3 hygiene emails right in a
Yeah,
row.
keep it up.
So here we go. This one comes from TK Chang. Of all the things I take with me into the restroom, I wash myself and my clothes regularly, but I never wash my phone. Does this mean my
What?
phone is covered in microscopic poop particles?
Yes.
No.
Dude,
Yeah.
it 100% is.
No.
Dude, like, verified your phone is one of... Nope.
I'm doing that thing where I'm just telling myself that microscopic poop
Your
particles
phone
don't
is-
exist, and so it'll never bother me.
Your phone
That's
is
fine.
one
Do
of,
it. That's,
one of the dirtiest things on your
I'm
person.
not putting it on my ass. I'm putting it up in my
I'm
ear.
not saying you are doing it. I'm saying everyone's phone is disgusting.
With poop particles?
Just everything. Bacteria.
What is the
shit.
gross thing? Bacteria's on everything. Bacteria's on doorknobs. Bacteria's on that microphone.
This is why it's not a big deal.
Okay.
I'm not saying
All
it's
right,
going to
yeah.
hurt you. I'm
Like,
just saying.
except that it's got poop on it, and that's
no.
Okay.
Bacteria? I'll
This
accept.
sounds like a man who would not plug fucking component cables into his TV.
Yeah, it
what
really
you're
does.
saying right now.
I mean, I
really
did
does.
come directly from him.
Yeah.
There are remnants still.
So Tested did a test
Yeah.
of this exact phenomenon back in the previous Whiskey Media office, which I think ended up as a video on their site, or maybe it was part of the
think,
Big Live
yeah,
Live show,
yeah.
or it was some. If you can
They
find
slobbed
the
some
video,
stuff, grew it in a petri
they
dish.
they cultured the Tested guys cultured like 15 different surfaces from our office, like the I think it was like the kitchen countertop,
Yeah.
one of the insides of one of the urinals in the bathroom,
They might have gotten my keyboard.
like a keyboards, like all kinds of
got a-
shit, and to their phones.
I get a grime. I get a good grime on my keyboard
Yeah,
over the year, over
sure.
time. It's,
Especially if like you eat at your desk.
sure.
After like a week of culturing all this shit, like the phone petri dishes, like by far the most disgusting.
Okay.
So
I'm not a germaphobe.
I'm just saying,
Yeah. I mean, it's just
I just don't want poop on me.
poop is on you right now,
It's in me.
and on you everywhere. Poop is
I showered this
everywhere.
morning. I don't really understand how mold works, so explain this to me. I thought mold was things like, chicken and meat and dairy, milk and cheese can mold. I walked in this morning and I forgot that over the weekend I had left I had a little bit of tea,
Uh-huh.
left a little bit of just water and green tea.
Yeah.
And I walked in and there were a couple little spots of mold there.
Yeah,
And
mold
I was
doesn't
like,
grow on
grows,
anything.
man.
it doesn't grow on water.
It grows on
dude.
your bathroom floor.
It can grow
on,
anywhere in the
Not on water. I've left water out for
anything,
weeks.
but that means the conditions were not hospitable to it. Like that doesn't mean anything.
Does
else.
making water tea make it more possible to
Not
mold?
necessarily. Like as if
How come
it's-
I've never seen mold on water?
if it's damp and dark, basically, it's a good place for mold to grow.
Yeah, like the corners of your bathroom are probably moldy. It's
Yeah.
why your showers get moldy.
Okay.
Like stuff that doesn't even have to do with food gets moldy.
That's mildew.
and mold as well.
Mildew's mold?
You get
What is mildew?
mildew? Is
What does
a
mildew only happen in bathrooms?
Film. It's a grind.
Is it a soap? Is it
scum.
soap-based?
Yeah.
Soap scum. Okay.
I don't
I don't know.
have to look it up.
The dictionary definition of mildew states that. I don't know.
You should go to Google and type in mildew and then come back with your results.
Okay.
Tell us what you found.
Yes.
Okay.
Science challenge.
Yes. Another question. This one's from Daniel. Hey, y'all. A recent conversation with my coworkers has left me confused about my washing habits. When they found out that I only use body wash, they looked at me in disgust and said, "You need the bar of soap for scrubbing, then you apply body wash afterwards in specific areas."
What?
This can't be the intended use of body wash, can it? Or have I just been left out of the loop?
Body wash is a giant pain in the ass.
Millennials are killing bar soap.
Yeah, bar soap is the way to go. Body wash, you have to go through like half a damn bottle.
Yeah, you do have to
That's
keep
not
reapplying
true
it.
at all.
Like I know what would you do? Like a wash rag or a loofah thing?
I got
or-
a loofah thing.
I like a loofah.
I'm not a
But then you have to
fan.
keep it's so much more of a pain in the ass that you have to keep doing this and put the bottle back and do the thing.
No,
or
I-
you can just have a fucking bar that you just
Wait.
put all over yourself.
But you're not. Wait, you rub the bar directly?
Hell yeah!
Yes!
Oh, you're
Get
not.
fucking
What other
hair all
option is
over it.
there?
That's
You're not.
disgusting.
You're not exfoliating that way.
The fuck does that mean? Oh, that's the thing, like where you wear the shoes when you're mowing the lawn and it makes it breathe more, right?
Totally, yeah.
Is that basically the same
Yeah,
concept?
the
Yeah,
loofah
what?
is the shoes in that scenario.
Okay, you know what I mean. You exfoliate your lawn by wearing the spike shoes when you mow
Oh,
your lawn.
kinda.
Like on a golf course. or
Yeah, so
whatever.
it's that same concept
No,
about
it's,
your
it's,
face.
It's kind of like scrubbing dead skin cells off.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Oh.
exposing good.
The loofah
new
scrub's
skin.
a lot better
Is
than
that the apricot scrub
Kinda,
stuff?
sure.
Okay,
Like
yeah,
a tea
yeah.
tree oil or something like
Yeah.
that. Could, yeah.
My fiance this morning was trying to explain to me conditioner.
Uh-huh.
And because she's trying to tell me the stuff at the gym that I use is why my head's always scratchy and danderfy. Because they just have a damn thing that says body wash / shampoo. And so it's just a thing and you just put it all over.
Yeah.
And I don't
That's
necessarily...
probably stripping out your hair's essential oils.
That's what she was saying, but I didn't realize like the oil thing. What is beneficial about the oil?
It keeps your hair healthy. If it dries out too much, it gets brittle and
Yeah.
it cracks and
Cracks?
Yeah.
Like-
Gives your hair that luster.
yeah.
Like it gets shiny?
You get split ends.
Yeah, like rubbing a
don't want split
rubbing
ends.
a raw egg into your dog's fur.
But when people say that somebody has oily hair, that's usually an insult. Like people used to say like, "Oh, Bret Hart with his oily hair."
Well, there are good oils and bad oils.
Yeah,
Also, you can
that's-
have too much.
Oh, so you can deliberately put oil in your hair to make it look like a wrestler.
Okay.
If you wanted to go that route as well.
Okay.
I recommend against it.
In 6th grade, I grew my hair out because I wanted to look like the 1, 2, 3 kid, and it wasn't oily enough.
That's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
My 6th grade
anyone
yearbook
say.
picture, it's you see the long hair here because I wanted to look like Sean Waldman.
Wow.
You learn something new every day here.
I don't even. Why? Why?
He beat Razor Ramon. No one expected
Every wrestler
that. It was 12.
you could have picked. You picked Kid. You picked
He was the Lightning Kid, the Cannonball Kid, the 1, 2, 3 Kid. 6.
6. All right, yeah. 6-Pac. Yeah. X-Pac. Sure.
He was pretty cool.
Let's move on. Aaron from Brooklyn.
Was it because his hair was the most attainable?
I think maybe.
Like if you look at
because,
Razor,
like,
obviously
okay,
you would want
because-
Razor
yes,
Ramon's hair.
Razor
but
was
fuck,
my
you
favorite.
You don't know how to do that shit.
Well, and he had stubble and everything, so like there was no way at 12 I could look like Razor, who obviously cooler than the 1, 2, 3 Kid. The
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 Kid was babyface at the time, not I meant actually babyface, like literally babyface.
Okay.
And as a 12-year-old, so yeah, I could look like 1, 2, 3 Kid.
Right now, if you were 12 now, would you
Wait,
be trying
what?
to look like Bo Dallas?
No, he sucks. 1, 2, 3 Kid was a good wrestler.
He's got a smooth.
Sean
he's got a
Waltman's a
smooth
legend.
young. He's got a smooth young face.
Click.
Bo
Dallas doesn't have a click.
Bo Dallas is a second generation
That is
superstar.
true.
It's-
That is true. His dad was a tax man.
Yeah, fucking A, man.
Urban R.
Erwin R, yeah.
Michael Wall Street.
Erwin R. Dallas.
Go on.
Aaron in Brooklyn. With the announcement of the Switch, we have quietly seen the end of an era. The Wii U is the last home console to actually run games off of optical discs. As you likely know, both the PS4 and Xbox One don't actually read games off their discs. They install them in full to
right.
the hard drive, and then the disc is essentially a non-biodegradable form of DRM. So while that's a pretty big caveat, the fact remains that as of March, there will no longer be any consoles that actually run games off of discs. How do you feel about this? Did optical discs have a good run? Overall, are they better than cartridges, floppies, or tapes? Also, when do you think Microsoft and Sony will finally give up the pretense and ship a version of their console without an optical drive at all?
I'm ready for full digital.
Well, sure,
Sure.
but most countries are not, especially areas that have
totally.
caps.
Oh,
We
yeah.
got
the
all
internet
kinds of
stuff, yeah.
all kinds of emails this week
Yeah.
about shitty internet in other
If
countries.
you think about why you would make a digital-only console, it would be a budget version of
Yeah.
the PlayStation or Xbox, but the
To
people
have an
that would be
option for
likely to
people.
buy that budget option would be the same people that would maybe be more likely to have internet that would not support a full digital
Yeah.
console.
Yeah.
So that use case just doesn't line up right now.
Also, how much are you really going to save by taking an optical drive out?
Yeah, I don't
It's
know how
like the
much
cheapest part of whenever I build a PC.
yeah, that stuff is not
Yeah,
hugely expensive.
Yeah, I don't know. Discs, yeah, they had a good run as like
Yeah.
cheap, slow storage.
Yeah.
Like, discs have been, like think about Mortal Kombat 3 for the
Yep,
PlayStation.
that was the first thing I thought of.
Fucking
That was the first.
good and bad.
It looked great.
It looked great. Load times, a nightmare.
Yeah,
Shang
the
Tsung
Shang
morphs.
Tsung-
They ruined Shang Tsung.
You turn on the thing.
Ruined Shang Tsung.
You turn on the thing so you can only turn into the opponent.
and that sucks.
It does.
The Shang Tsung morph was the first time that I just basically slammed head first into why CDs were maybe not amazing.
Yeah.
But that CD quality audio.
Yeah.
I was so bummed to hear that they streamed Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective on that Waypoint stream because I had been meaning to dig that game up for fucking years.
Well, that's these damn kids, these upstarts beat you to the punch again.
That was so fucking crazy. Sherlock Holmes and
Yeah, that game is
Soul Feast,
yeah.
just all that stuff.
Yeah.
Anything with the CD quality audio.
And now, like, what are we using CD quality audio for? To play chip tunes.
Right. Yeah.
So
Speaking of consoles without a disk drive, I booted up my Ouya last night.
How's the clock running?
It's great.
Yeah.
Amazing Frog is
Clock
still
out.
awesome.
How did you get any Ouya? Did you back it? Did you back the
I
Kickstarter?
bought it on Craigslist
buy it
after somebody backed it because it is the Kickstarter edition. It's got like Notch and Robert Bowling's name on it and stuff. But
Those are
yeah, like a
engraved,
week
aren't they?
after. What's that?
I think they're engraved.
Yeah,
aren't
they're
they?
engraved. It was like a week after it
Awesome.
came out. Yeah. And I bought it for $40.
Wow.
And like my old copy of Devil May Cry 3 to some dude on Craigslist. Because I'm moving now, and I decided I'm going to move via the postal service because every other like actually get a truck type thing is like $3,000-$4,000. So I'm just basically getting rid of
Can
most
mail
of my
everything
things
to
and
you.
mailing everything.
That's how I moved to California. Granted, it was like 13 years ago, but yeah, I got rid of almost everything I could, and then shipped a few boxes of the remainder.
Yeah, so I'm doing the thing where it's like, okay, let's look at everything that I have and see if it's worth the shipping cost to send it to New York. And so I plugged in the Ouya and checked it out, and I don't think it's worth shipping. Yeah.
Does Towerfall still
Do you
run
wanna-
on that? I wonder if they've
I
kept
did
that
a factory
up to date.
reset because I'm going to give it to Goodwill. So
You should
it
leave-
was
you should leave
installed.
Should leave it in here. We might have a use for that thing.
Do you want me to bring the Ouya in?
Yeah,
We should.
Yeah.
It wouldn't hurt to have an Ouya.
I will take. I will take that and just mess around with it.
Okay, I'll bring it in.
I'm not going to pay you for it.
having
you already
another-
said that you were going to give it to Goodwill. so
Having
don't
having
say
a
that.
random Android device sitting around is not the worst thing. In the
Okay,
world.
I'll bring it in with the controller.
Can
Which,
find
No, you
uses for
can.
that
You
stuff.
can keep
sweet.
the control.
yeah, I had to boot it up with the controller, or like, I didn't have a PlayStation controller paired with it.
Right.
And I forgot how the fucking batteries work in that thing.
Yep.
And you have to take off 2 panels and then the little ribbons that pull each individual AA battery
Oh
out.
God.
that
it's
was a
terrible.
good like, oh man moment of like looking at the Switch controller and then someone posted a picture of it next to the Ouya
Yeah.
controller and you're like,
The shades of it. Yeah.
oh no. yeah.
He included a postscript. What is your favorite type of game disc? Mine was PS2 CD-based games. I liked the shiny blue.
GameCube.
Okay,
The fun
yeah,
little discs.
Yeah,
They were great.
All right,
They were
sure.
fun little discs.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Sure.
for sure.
Yeah, those blue CDs were.
Yeah.
What was the breakdown? It was the CDs were blue, the DVDs were black.
Black
No,
was
no,
PlayStation
no.
1.
Black
Yeah.
PS1 CDs were
Yeah,
black,
but
right?
the DVDs I think were just silver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Games were blue.
And then
blue
Blu-ray
ones
stuff
were-
has like a curved edge to them.
Hmm.
Like they don't have.
Yeah,
a
the
Right.
Yeah,
The
that-
Wii
that's
U
kinda
soft.
feel 'em.
They feel
Wii
like
U discs have like the softest, nicest,
Yeah, those are
rounded
nice,
edge
too.
on them. It feels so
it's
good.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't-
PSP.
UMDs. Jeez.
UMDs.
I also booted that up yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah.
That worth shipping.
Tossing that one.
It's pretty good if I just want to play Mario 2 on the go, but I also have like
Yeah.
9 billion ways to do that. So
Yeah. It's a good,
It's,
it's a good Luminous machine.
Yeah.
Double
yeah.
density DVDs.
Hmm.
You had to
Yeah.
flip it over
Yeah.
to get to the other side of the movie.
Sure.
Or hey, here's your full screen version.
Fucking
Here's your
laser discs?
widescreen version.
What's that Barbarella one that you gave me? That technology. 'Cause it's
RCA video disc?
Yeah.
Those things are
an
crazy.
actual like record on the inside.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Were there
Um,
any other game consoles that used a disc inside a cartridge,
So-
like a mini disc?
Yeah.
The CDTV, which was an Amiga kind of lightly consoleized or something, used it was a caddy system. So like early CD-ROM burners even had caddies. So it was a cartridge that you would put the disc in and then put in, which is what the PSP discs always reminded me of. So you took the disc out and put it in, and then put this cartridge in. But I don't know that anything was ever self-contained.
Okay.
Disc in a sleeve kind of thing.
Okay.
There's a weird amount of unintentional synergy in the flow of these emails. This one comes in from Chris in Nashua, New Hampshire. I've recently gone down the rabbit hole of collecting Dreamcast games. When doing some research online, I stumbled upon the concept of disc rot. It's something I had never heard of, but I'm now getting paranoid of all the old discs I find online. With all your history collecting old games, how prevalent is disc rot, and what, if any, steps do you take to fend it off?
I've never put in a disc and had it not work, and that even like prototypes that are on like CDRs and stuff like that still work. Like
So
those,
I've
would
had
theoretically.
CDRs die.
I had always
guess,
I had always thought that disc rot was just a CDR thing. It was just
Yeah.
anything like I thought that pressed like stamped factory
I
discs.
think they will rot
Really?
too eventually,
Sure.
but it's like a much longer time
Like
frame.
a million years or some shit like
50 maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know, but
that. 1,050 years.
I don't know. I've seen CDRs that look like they have pits on them that weren't there originally, but I've never had a disc
You'll get like
A game
weird
disc anyway.
discoloration underneath
go
the
wrong.
like a store bought one.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. I can't think of any store bought stuff.
Trying to think,
But even like,
what's-
my Sega CD prototypes that are just on CDRs and stuff like that, like those all still work
Still
fine.
boot?
They still look pristine, I don't know. I've not encountered it, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, big fat question mark on that one. Let's go through a couple more.
Store in a cool, dry place.
Yes, there you go. No mold will grow there.
Well,
Wait. Oh, no.
Well, it can grow on anything, right?
Dry place.
This email comes in from El Pork.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
wait, the pork?
Yes.
Okay.
The year is 20XX, and the supreme corporate
XDX.
leader has given you a choice. You get to helm only one of the following. Which will it be? A Gundam, the Normandy, either the original SR2 or SR3, the Enterprise NCC 1701D,
D.
the Nostromo, pre-infection, and if you choose with modern instruments, a squadron of TIE fighters with a basic defenseless ship to house them, Slave One, or a Borg cube. Yes, you control the Borg.
Yeah.
Take that one.
Wait, do they have the Enterprise thing that can just like make food? Like
surely
the
they-
matter
surely
or whatever.
They do.
If they have that, then the cube.
Okay. Yeah.
You could assimilate that technology.
That's true,
Borg
yeah.
cubes.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
go take it.
That seems good.
Any day, put me in a fucking transforming robot.
Yeah.
Any
You
day.
can go with the Gundam option.
Absolutely. Oh my god.
I
Yeah.
feel like if you had
I would last Starfighter.
if you had an Enterprise, you could probably
It's like living in a space house. No,
Totally, yeah,
want a
but I think if
fucking
you had an
cockpit with
Enterprise,
fucking
you
lasers
could
and storm
eventually,
missiles and shit.
like use that
And
to house
transform.
Gundams.
Sure,
true.
that I could take out at my leisure, but if I had one that I was in complete and total command of, fucking piloting an Enterprise, that would be a huge pain in the ass.
You
just
sit in
have
the
a crew,
chair,
I
right?
wouldn't
Yeah,
have
I-
any recreation.
No,
You'd
yeah.
find a crew.
Well, yeah.
Do you know how much you could charge people to take a ride on the Enterprise?
I could probably make some money off
Yeah.
think
And they would be
Fuck
your
Richard
crew.
Branson.
I think once you have the Enterprise, you don't really need money anymore.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
That's
You
fine.
just print money with the fucking fabricators.
Yeah, there you go.
You're just like, give me $20.
Oh, yeah. Do
Yeah.
they have money in Star Trek World?
No.
There's no
but
money?
Not the Federal. I mean, yeah, the Ferengi
which-
deal in
Yeah, I mean other
Latinum exists.
other
man.
like alien races
real.
care about money, but no, not like
The general spacefaring
Earth
Earth people.
I mean,
the
it's
Federation
like-
has evolved beyond
yeah,
money.
it's like
Okay.
a core tenet of the utopian vision of Star Trek that mankind has evolved beyond.
See, the Ubers
greed and
became
money.
self-driving, and then you didn't need to own a car.
Okay.
And then the sharing economy, and then Star Trek.
Oh, okay.
That's how.
So this is all good.
Absolutely,
Yeah. Okay.
of course.
I mean,
Okay.
you got to break a few eggs to get to Utopia.
I saw a
you gotta
self-driving
destroy
Uber this week.
society.
is that what that is? I saw
The
a
thing with
car
the-
go by. Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
it with a ridiculous, like, terrifying looking contraption on top of
I
the
saw it
thing.
near Golden Gate Park this weekend.
Yeah, I saw one on Geary this morning.
Did they put a human in it to, like, as a just in
I
case?
feel
type
like I
thing,
saw
or
a
they
guy
just like-
behind the
okay,
wheel,
yeah.
but I wasn't looking too
I figured they
closely.
would.
I think there was.
Too
Yeah.
busy.
I think they have to do that right now.
Too busy looking at that monstrosity on the top.
I'm tempted to say the Nostromo, but that's just like a mining platform.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not that, well, there's like the clean white crew quarters,
Yeah.
but most of it's just like pipes.
Most of it's just a truck.
Yeah.
It's just a
space
long
truck.
haul truck.
So the Event Horizon.
Yeah. Yeah.
For as
So maybe
awesome
the
as like a
Normandy.
Gundam would, I mean, to me, like this is like either a Gundam or the Enterprise, because the Enterprise or like a Borg cube, either one of them is going to go so fucking fast and so far. You'll be able to go see some cool ass shit. True. Gundam's not going to be able to go
gonna
to
be
war.
like riding a fucking motorcycle.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and like the Enterprise is like an RV.
Like
sure.
a Gundam would be cool if you want to hang out on Earth and be a fucking robot. Which don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, that sounds super appealing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I would rather see a great deal of space at super high speeds.
I'm with you.
But I don't want to deal with like flying that fucking thing.
You don't. The
There's
computers
probably-
do.
the
You just
computer-
fucking go, hey,
that's
go out
true.
here.
Panels. Okay. All right.
I might take the Sulaco though from Aliens
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
because you got that drop ship.
Yeah.
Mm.
You're in for some chop.
Mm-hmm.
You could separate the saucer section.
It's true.
Just for fucking kicks, man.
Yeah, I'd have to go with the Enterprise, I think. I am partial to the Normandy, though.
All these Jeffries tubes you could fucking roll around in.
True. Yeah. Make a force field wherever you want.
Yeah. You could seal off main engineering just for fucking kicks.
Yeah. You don't need anybody down there. Shit. Miguel from Chicago. I'll get straight to the point on UPF. Dan and Mary mentioned something about freezing nacho cheese to make it like ice cream.
Right.
Can Dan give us the details on this, on whether it was better than a yellow Russian or not?
I can't remember if that was during the actual show. I think that was just for fun in our free time. There was
the nitrogen stuff.
Yeah, that was at the end because Will and Norm came by.
Had their nitrogen.
And we did that at the end. That was on the stream, right?
I think that was on the stream.
Yeah, we made nacho cheese ice cream, and it was okay, right?
Edible? Oh, yeah, I ate some of that. It was weird.
It was okay. It was weird.
Yeah, it was weird. It was okay.
Yeah.
It was better than you'd think it would be.
Was it just frozen nacho cheese, or was it mixed in?
It was just
with
frozen nacho cheese, and so I think that did make it better than the yellow Russian.
Okay.
That was gross.
Yeah.
That did not mix well.
Yeah. No. Or it didn't mix at all.
The tricks and nacho cheese also not great.
Oof.
I don't remember that. I
The
blocked all
pudding,
that out.
we had the pudding and nacho cheese.
Oy.
I don't remember that.
Oh, we had a lot of stuff. Yeah.
That's all disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, last email. Scott from Adelaide in Australia writes in and says, my fiance and I love weddings and we're super romantic, but we don't want to have one of our own, and eloping has been one of those subjects we have legitimately considered throughout our relationship. Now being engaged, we have come to the decision that instead of spending $10,000 to $20,000 Australian on a wedding that feels more like an obligation, we want to take our kids and fly to America for the most kick-ass family holiday that would begin in Vegas, getting married by Elvis, to the surprise of our children and family back home, and end at Disneyland.
Awesome.
Disney is super special to our relationship. We have matching Disney tattoos, and our engagement party was heavily Disney-themed, and we really wanted our kids to go there while they're still young. I need advice. While mapping out our itinerary, we're not sure if we should fly or drive from Vegas to Anaheim. It's not a budgetary decision. We're just wondering if it's an enjoyable experience. Are there fun and quirky things to see and do along the way, or is it mainly just road?
It's mainly just road.
For context, my fiance and I have both lived and worked in America before. I've been to almost every state in the U.S., but my fiance has mainly seen the East Coast and wants to see some of that beautiful Wild West style desert scenery.
You'll get some of that driving out of Vegas.
Get that. Yeah. And there's plenty of weird truck stops, you know, that you could stop.
Yeah. What's like 4 hours?
Sure.
Something like that?
Something like that.
Is that it?
Vegas to LA?
Well, that's not bad.
That's not bad.
Oh,
It's
if it's that short, I would almost say drive just to save the money because you're gonna spend
an hour getting to the airport, probably going through all that.
It's an hour flight,
door to
45-minute flight, something like that.
Door to door, it might take longer to fly than to drive. Actually,
also there's definitely enough weird kitschy shit to check out along the
little
way.
dinosaurs and stuff.
Yeah,
but like one of the best drives I had was coming from Minnesota to San Francisco.
That's fun.
Yeah. That was a really good drive for sure.
Also, you're supposed to have engagement parties. Is that a thing?
You can.
Yeah.
You drink 40s and play Pen Triathlon.
You don't have to. You don't have to play Pen Triathlon.
Wait, it was fun.
No.
Pen Triathlon was pretty fun.
I think it was.
As a Dreamcast launch game, it was okay. At the
Was
time,
that
you were
pretty
like,
good
all
too?
right.
As a way
sure.
to celebrate an engagement, I think you could do worse than Pen Triathlon.
Like people have to celebrate an engagement however they want. And that's up to them. That's a very personal thing.
I didn't know parties were a thing. Like a big thing where you invite the family.
But I think all that stuff is definitely all that stuff is up in the air.
Yeah.
And
it should
people,
come down to the couple.
I feel like, yes, ideally, and it's not always the case, but ideally it should come down to the couple and what they want to do.
But there are some family that will totally put pressure on you for
totally. Like we spent a good long time planning our wedding, and the whole time going like, maybe we should just just go do it.
Yeah, it was that's what Lisa and I wanted.
And we had a very there was a period of time there where my wife didn't have health insurance, and it was like, okay, well, should we actually just get married immediately?
Yeah.
To get that out of the way, and ended up not doing that, being a little more traditional on that front. So of course she hurt her leg, but it ended up fine. But yeah, all that stuff's super personal. Like we had our photographers were at one point trying to get us to do first look photos, which are when you, day of the wedding, prior to the wedding, see the bride
Okay.
and like take these pictures together and all this other stuff like prior to the wedding. The one thing we both, well, not the one thing, but we agreed that we wanted to do the thing of we're not going to see each other until the ceremony.
Okay.
But there was some pressure of like, oh well, the lighting's really good, then you get these pictures and all that stuff. It's like no, we're not, no, absolutely not. So yeah, there will be all types of weird pressures and decisions and stuff along those lines from all types of different places, family and friends and all that other shit. I fuck all that shit. Just do what you want to do.
Totally.
I think
So
the idea of, like,
I fully support
totally,
them.
Like go to
like,
America. Like absolutely.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
That would be a hell of a trip, hell of an experience.
He did conclude a PS that they were having a thing back home.
I mean,
Okay,
For
yeah.
friends and family.
Yeah.
Cocktail reception of sorts.
Sure.
They're not paying for your wedding. You can do whatever you want. And even if they are, like, it's a shitty reason to pressure you into doing stuff you don't want to do.
Oh, right.
It's your day.
Yeah.
Spend it as you see fit.
Is it? But is it?
Yeah, I mean, I know.
There are lots of
I know,
things
I know,
involved.
I know it goes both ways.
It kind of
but,
ended
like,
up being Lisa's parents' day. They wanted the more traditional stuff.
Yeah, sure,
And they
yeah.
totally gave us control over to what we wanted to do, but,
But
they're like,
within the
we want a
confines
traditional
of-
wedding.
yeah.
It's like, okay,
Yeah.
you want to pay for it? Because
Yeah.
it's expensive.
Yeah.
They paid for it.
Okay. All right. Sure.
Yeah. It's
That works.
We got some really good pictures out of it.
Yeah.
we got some. We've like looked at pictures, but haven't actually bought any of them yet.
Yeah.
Like at some point, we're like, oh shit, we probably need to pick out some of the ones we like and send them. I don't even know what you do with pictures other than keep them and look at them.
Yeah.
So I guess you send them to family and friends
Yep.
or something. Like we got one of them for thank you cards, and that's been it so far.
We've got everything on a DVD or two, which
Yeah.
hopefully hasn't rotted yet.
Just better get home
Like
and
our
check that.
love. No, our love is
Just
not
keep it in a cool, dry place.
Yeah. We got a photo booth at ours. That
Yeah,
was kind of novel at the time. I see a lot of
I've-
people doing that now.
Yeah,
but
that's fun.
that was great.
Yeah. It's a good time.
Lots of drunk people flashing us and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh,
Wow.
alright, I see.
Now you had a cool wedding. I
Oh,
see.
we had an open bar.
I see. All right.
I wasn't drinking at the time though.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, didn't have a drop.
Ah, that's a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I had like half a drink at my wedding. That's
You don't
no
have time.
You don't have fucking
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And like eating and stuff.
Yeah.
Our the person who had the reception hall, actually, they set us aside before the wedding. They're like, we're going to grab some food for you. And right after the wedding, we're going to take you up to this room. You're going to spend 20 minutes eating because otherwise you're going to die. So,
Sure.
I still never
was
did
great.
figure out who the fuck ate my cake.
fuck.
That cake.
I had a
was
lot.
Good.
I had some of that cake.
I had
But
I
it
had
was Dan.
Yeah. that was
I mean,
good.
I had the one given to me as an
cake
attendee.
at the table, sitting in my seat, and I came back and it was fucking gone.
Was it?
Damn it.
like all the fondant was still there?
Yeah.
Someone had
They
eaten
left-
the fucking
oh,
guts out
that's-
of the cake. I was like, that's
rude.
Who's your first suspect?
I don't actually know.
I don't know either.
No, I mean,
It was not me. I don't steal food.
I suspect it would be someone who was seated at that table, but I that's a
Was John Drake at that table?
he was not.
Okay.
It was not table 9. I can tell you that.
Yeah, well, table.
That was a good group over there. We were the best table. Yeah.
Was it like a lemon?
There was a layer of lemon. There was was 3 layers of 3
Lemon and,
different
like raspberry
flavors
or something.
I don't think there was
No.
raspberry.
Okay. Trying to remember.
There was a lemon. There was a pistachio.
Okay. I think
I
I
don't
remember
remember.
liking it. Into that wedding.
I was into it. The cake tasting was actually probably my favorite part of that whole process. Going and eating little bits of all these different types of cake and going, these 3.
Yeah. After 18 types of cake.
Yeah.
All right. Bombcast@johnbomb.com. That's it for emails and the podcast. We should get out of here.
All right.
All in agreement?
Sure.
Aye.
Okay. That's it. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Motion carried.